Hey, welcome to this live stream. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for watching it on the replay, especially if you're not. I guess it depends. If you're not in my time zone, then I'm guessing you're watching this on the replay because it is 3:20 a.m. But I really felt like painting. I couldn't sleep, and I honestly can't think of a better way to spend the evening than to paint and chat with you guys and share a few art supplies that I have, and also like formally talk about like some news. So thank you so much for being here. Hey Astrid Leo, hey Renee, hey Miss Ebony, Terry, Judy. It's so nice to see like familiar names. You guys are very, very kind. Thank you for joining me. Let me know what time it is where you're at. It is not my intention to like cross over to. Do you remember that time that we did a live stream and we crossed over? I stayed on so long that we crossed over so that it was too late for the US people and the UK people started waking up. I'm not planning on doing it that late, but I am curious to know like roughly what time it is. 7:20, 9:20. Okay. So somewhat decent for some and somewhat late for others. 10:20. Oh, okay. So it's already late for Canada. How is everyone? Is anyone going to be painting as well? Great time for Renee. Exactly. Yeah. 9:21. Cool. I did think so. I had to write a list because I always like get carried away when we're doing live streams and then forget to say what I actually want to say. So the first thing, just to get it off the bat, the big news is that I'm doing a new Ko-fi tier. Yay, yay. And I feel like I have let my Ko-fi members know. I have put it on the community, but I haven't actually let wider YouTube know yet. And essentially, it's something that I've been thinking about for ages. And those of you who will remember over a year ago when I first started Ko-fi, it took me maybe like 8 months to actually decide to start it. And I honestly wish I had started it sooner because I absolutely love our Ko-fi and I love our community. YouTube also took me a long time to do or to start off. And again, something that I wish I'd started sooner. So for a few months now, I've been thinking about doing a Happy Mail tier. Like you can probably tell, I love doing Happy Mail. I keep doing it all the time, but I just wanted to do it more consistently. So this new tier is essentially like a Happy Mail tier where I will be sending out watercolor dot cards, plus or minus some bonuses to it as well each month. And as well as that, there'll be live streams, there'll be Zooms, there'll be extra videos, there'll just be like even more, but I'm calling it the Happy Meal tier because the main difference and the main, I think, thing for me is that I will finally have an outlet for all the Happy Meal that I want to create on a monthly basis and the colors that I want to share that will link into different challenges. And I basically have big plans for it. So have I linked it? No, I have not linked it, but I will link it down below in the description so that if you want to join, you can. I have set it up as limited spaces for now. I guess in part just so that I can, you know, because it will take more work. So I just want to be able to actually do it properly when we start off. And then once we have our feet, or depending on people's responses, then I can spread it out wider if you like. So I have hopefully updated the description and it should hopefully be should be there now. But yeah, so that's the big news. New Ko-fi tier. Go there, join it. Join either, to be honest. But if you want a Happy Meal, then I highly recommend the new tier. And if you love watercolor, I recommend the new tier. And if you love art supplies in general, I recommend the new tier. I feel like that's the main. Oh wait, the other thing. See, this is why I'm looking to the side because I was like, I need to write stuff down or I will forget. The other thing, and the reason why I wanted to do this live stream now is that I'm doing a extra bonus reward, if you like, for the new tier, which is that anyone who joins today, so on the 30th of November, by a certain time, which I will leave in the description as well, will get an extra bonus dot card. So you'll get the normal dot card that I'm doing for this month, but you will also get an extra Holbein watercolor dot card of just a collection of some of my favorite colors. So that's the heads up. If you want to get the extra prize, join today. Miss Ebony is talking to myself. I really hope that you guys love it. Like over the past year as a whole, I've been doing Happy Mail anyway, but it's just not sustainable to like it wasn't sustainable to do it consistently without charging for it. Um, Whereas now I feel like now that I've created a whole tier for it, I will be able to do it properly and to do more and to do it more consistently because I'll actually be able to afford it. That is the joy and the hope. So that's the first thing. And then I've told you, oh yeah, and there'll also be like voting rights, just I guess more access. I think the more I'm trying to balance it, so I want to do all the different things that I want to do at the same time. I don't want to stretch too thin, so things will be juggling, but they'll be juggling for the better, I feel, to kind of give me a good outlet and a good balance. Like if you're part of my newsletter, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about in terms of the fact that um I don't know, for the past few months it's been like really busy and I haven't had time to focus on my art anymore as much. So I'm really focusing on the things that excite me on my art and putting that first. And this really excites me, basically, which is what kind of got me to push. Oh, Astroglio, thank you. I'm always surprised by the fact that Kofi integrates here. So I was like, oh, what's the Kofi bot doing here? Oh, thank you so much for joining, for upgrading your membership. I'm really glad. Yeah, Miss Ebony, it's so Royal Mail charges so much. Like, yeah. I really don't know what to say about it other than the packages that I want to do. And obviously people don't need to know or want to know the logistics, but the packages that I would ideally want to do would basically cost £6, £6.40 to send. Now, obviously, £6.40 to send. The tier is £10 more expensive than the other. That would basically leave me with what, £3.60, which doesn't to buy the art supplies. Which you see how you can very quickly and very easily start losing money by doing this. But uh honestly, I I want to do it, so I'll do it. I'll start early, even if it doesn't make sense, and then I'll see if you know if I can make it make sense. And if I can't, then I can't. But if I can, then I can. Oh, hey Jude. Is Jude also going to be painting with us? And let me know. Astroglio, that attending money. Honestly, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. But congratulations again on your new job, Astroglio. And fourth person from Texas. Hey, what should I call you? Enough by MNT. Welcome to our live stream. Another Texan. Texas loves sketches. And I love Texas, to be honest. It's one of the few places I've been to in the US. My aunt lives there. And honestly, I was like, wow, everything really is bigger in Texas. Like even the roads were just like massive, like just massive. The houses were massive, just everything. Oh, I'm so glad. Oh my gosh, and Christine. He got up too early this morning. Oh, bless him. Do you like painting as well? I highly recommend. I feel like Renee, you've shown us some work that Jude has done and your daughter. Come see us anytime. I may do, to be honest. I do need to see my aunt at some point. So first time. Oh, I'm so glad. Welcome, Puff Pets. And I saw your message. You were so sweet. You were like, oh my gosh, you replied to my comment. I was like, yeah, I honestly tried to reply to all the comments. And then obviously YouTube did me dirty and deleted like thousands of comments I've left. But still, if you have your emails turned on, then you'll always get my reply, even if YouTube then deletes it thereafter. A Texas so honestly, it's so good to chat with you guys. But yeah, as I said, I have linked in the description how to join the tiers. I'll be doing more live streams on Ko-fi as well, and I'll also send the link here in case anyone wants to join, or in case it didn't actually stick to the description. And if I do go to Texas, I will do a meetup. The only thing is that I feel like Texas is a bit too broad. So when I went to Texas, I went to Dallas. Yeah, I went to Dallas, but and I was like, oh, okay. I went to Dallas. I have some family in Houston, so I was like, we can just go there, right? Wrong. Like, it was so far apart that literally I didn't have enough time to go from Dallas to Houston and then to North Carolina and all the other places I wanted to go to. So I'll definitely have to set out some time to do it properly and just go around. But I feel like that's the main thing. Oh yeah, and then the other thing that I've written down because I knew I would forget is that I am still thinking about doing an art retreat, possibly in the future. And um, the way that it works is that if I want to do it in probably 2025, I have to start putting things in motion now. So I've left a link down below in the description. I'd appreciate it if you can fill it out. It takes 2 minutes. And on there, it basically asks questions as to where you would want to go, what you would want to do. I think one of the options is like host activities because it's technically the company hosting it is technically not just for art retreats. So I would be doing the art retreat part and they would kind of be supporting me with the tourist part of the trip. So if some of the questions aren't specific to me, that is why I can't control the questions. But it will ask you about budget, where you want to go, what kind of things you want to do. And then once enough people have responded, I will be able to at least start planning it and getting things in motion. Um, so yeah, check out that link, especially if you want to do the art retreat. If you don't want to do the art retreat right now, but you think you may want to do it in a year, then still the time would be now to fill it. In Born, I'm just checking up on the rest of the comments. Yeah, you can drive for an hour and still be in Dallas. Like honestly, I was so confused because obviously like London and the UK and everything's quite small, which I hadn't realized until I did go to like the US and I was like, wow, everything is a lot bigger. Like nothing was walking distance. Absolutely nothing. Felt like you had to drive to go to your neighbors. Love listening to Houston. Moved from Austin to I feel like were we in Austin? I don't even know. I feel like we were I'm not sure. It was over 10 years ago in my defense. Yeah, no, it wasn't. We were going to fly, but the flights were expensive. It was a whole thing. So in the end, I couldn't go. But I do want to go because I do have some family there that I have not seen in way too long. So let me quickly show you some of the art supplies that I have got. I'm going to show it very quickly because ultimately I've shown my Ko-fi members already, and I know quite a lot of you are Ko-fi members, so you don't want to see all the repeats. Let me change this. Yeah, okay. So we have the fat book, of course, which I just keep going back to. I have filled lots of it and still have lots to go. I think the first thing that I wanted to show, which again is kind of linked to Ko-fi, is these. So I bought the Jackson's acrylics. They are 200 mils. I bought them when they were on sale. So I think I got them for around £4.50 for 200 mils. In comparison to other acrylics, I don't know how good or bad that is. However, let me show you. I think I swatched them for, did I? This is going to be a Ko-fi video, but I swatched them and I wasn't that inspired by the colors. Some of them were kind of streaky and I don't know. I feel like I picked the colors. Obviously, I didn't get it in the set, but I don't know. When I swatched it, I was just like, yeah, meh, they're not as exciting. I feel like when you go from the beautiful world of watercolor to acrylics, no shade, sometimes the colors aren't that great. So what I decided to do instead was to actually mix some of my own colors in these cute little bottles, which I believe I showed you during my Ko-fi live stream that I'd bought these bottles. And this was essentially the purpose of them, to be able to mix my own acrylics and make my own colors. And I've recorded the whole process and that will be an upcoming Ko-fi video where I basically talked about how I did it and the colors that I got. So all in all, not bad. I feel like the good thing about this is that if you are going to mix your own colors, whether you mix them in bottles like this or whether you mix them in like markers, that you don't necessarily need to buy expensive paints for it. What I would recommend doing is that you have some cheap acrylic paints, and well, it depends how opaque you want them to be. And then also what is helpful to have is acrylic inks if you want, because mixing the two together just gives you a really, really nice like the right viscosity, so it comes through really nicely. So these are the I got 9 colors. All these 8 colors plus white. And let me change that as I continue to focus on things on abstract art. And then these are the other things that I got. So I got some Dana Rowney colors, and I've actually started to use them up. Like, look, this color comes up to here. I've used half of it. But essentially I got carried away and I bought 15 different Dana Rowney colors, and I will probably have a look and get a few more. We shall see. Colt pens are currently doing a sale that's going to end today, actually, where they're doing 30% off of the Dana Rowney. They're doing, I mean, a bigger sale up to 30% on a number of different brands, but the one that appealed to me most was 30% off Dana Rowney, and that's what I have been getting. So I'm going to have another look at the different colors. I will link it for you because you can also get 10% off using my code. But these are some of the colors that I have got. And all of this started when I first swatched them out in, I guess, the very first live stream, like art hall live stream. And I really enjoyed using the acrylic inks. I enjoy that they don't reactivate. I enjoy that they are watery, that they kind of have a mind of their own, that you can get some really nice effects with it. Whoops, this is falling. That you can get some really nice effects with it. So that's what's drawn me to them. And these are the colors. And I just want to show this to you in case you're thinking about getting them, because initially what I wanted to do was create a video, well, basically buy the entire range and then swatch them out, because I feel like I haven't seen that, and thus it was quite hard for me to pick out the colors. But turns out they were quite expensive when I first started buying them, so I wasn't able to do that. But these are the colors that I have got so far, and I hope that they kind of give you an insight into any color that you may want. So this is yellow ochre, gold, love it, white, Indian yellow, which initially when I got it, I was like, oh, I don't like it that much, but I keep using this. It's great for mixing. Peach pink, burnt umber, antelope brown, processed magenta, love this. This is most definitely fugitive. Like, there's no way it's not. But anyway, it's beautiful color nonetheless. Purple lake, olive green, turquoise, marine blue, dark green, which isn't actually that dark, Rani blue, which is stunning, and then Payne's gray. So these are the FW Rani inks. They do also have System 3 inks. I do not know the difference between them. I would have thought that the FW ones would be better quality, but I don't know, because the System 3 ones are more expensive. Oh my gosh, new subscriber. Oh, thank you, Patricia. This is so cool. Hey, Janina. Sorry, I got like distracted by art supplies. But no, thank you so much. Hey, Janina, welcome. And thank you so much for joining, Patricia. Are those light fast? I do not think they are. Let me check. So this, for example, Payne's Gray. Okay, it says here. Can you see it? So it says 065, PBK7, PB15, 3 stars. So it says that it is, but then I don't know what the 3 stars actually corresponds to. So let me find another color. So it has a black and a phthalo blue. This one, which is olive green, has PY3, PBK7, PG36, PY74, and again says it's three stars light fastness. Antelope brown, 3 stars light fastness. Okay, color me correct. Color me surprised. The process magenta, which I did think would be fugitive, has PV19, which usually is light fast, and it does say 3-star light fastness. My only thing is that I don't know what the stars correspond to, because so far turquoise, every single one of them says 3-star light fastness. So I don't know what number the 3 stars are out of. It's not to, they haven't like put, 7 out of 8 or the, the blue wall scale or anything like that. All of them, hold on, let me check this one. 3 stars, 3 stars, 3. Oh, and last but not least, 3. Okay, so all of them have said 3 stars. I don't know. Yeah, so I assume they mean 3 out of 3. And in theory, I guess I haven't seen any. I thought the process magenta would be fugitive because it looks so bright. It looks like opera. But if it does, in theory, just have PV19, which is what it says it does. Let me. Oh, yeah. That would be great if it could focus. PV19. But yeah, in theory, if it does only have PV19 as it says it does, then it should be light fast. A lot of them have a number of, so this peach pink, which I think in some places is called flesh. I really like this color, and it's made up of PR122, PY3, PY74, PBK, PBK7, and PW6, a whole range of different colors. Really nice. I guess it could get muddy very easily depending on how you use it. But again, 3 out of 3 light fastness. And I'm just looking to see if any of them mention a pigment that is clearly fugitive. This one is a bit different. Like this one, PY83 fine, but PR9? What's PR9? I've never used that. This Rowney blue is PB15-3. Turquoise is PG7 and PB15, so phthalo green and phthalo blue as expected. Marine blue, which is stunning, is again phthalo. Oh, this is why they're quite similar. It's again phthalo blue with a phthalo green mixed together. So I hope that helps. Yes, so it's so funny you should say that, Laurie, because I don't know if Ko-fi members will remember that I got the jelly plate and I was playing around and experimenting with it. And one of the pages, do you remember that I said I would leave as is so that we could come back and see what it looks like at the end? That's these 2 pages. So this one was the one that had gray and yellow, and I changed it to this. And this was the page that had like primarily brown, the one that came before this. So here, what I did after a conversation and the question by Durwood and suggestion by Terry was I went back over the background that I created using my dip pen that has this dip pen here, the Browse, Brause, and I used the peach pink to do this drawing on top, and I just absolutely loved it, and then made like a little art print of it, because I was like, oh, maybe this could be a nice, like, I was just wondering, like, can I actually make my own art prints? The reason that I haven't done them for ages, forever, is that my printer just wasn't working. My old printer wasn't working, and it hadn't occurred to me to try using the new printer that I had to do art prints. I tried and I absolutely loved it. So yes, it does work with dip pens. High degree of light fastness. Thank you for checking, Renee. You can, oh, it's out of 4 stars. Yeah. This is the thing. This is why I'm like, I don't know how much we can actually trust when a brand says how light fast or not light fast they are. But I think, I don't know, with light fastness, I think it's helpful to know so that you can make an informed decision when buying something. If you if you are so inclined. However, like I've never bought, or I don't tend to buy things hoping that they will last 150 years. Do you know what I mean? So for me, as long as it's not going to fade in like a year or two, I'm happy. Or if it's going to be, or I'll be mindful of the fact that it's going to be in a sketchbook and stuff. And I know that a lot of times people say, no, you can't sell something unless it's absolutely light fast. And I can see why that, why is the school of thought. And yet, you know, if I buy a pair of jeans, I'm not expecting them to last 120 years. And I feel like if it's different, if people are paying like light fast money, if people are paying like thousands of pounds for this piece of art that's going to outlive them, then fair enough, have it be light fast. But then I also feel like people will have the expectations of having something that will never fade and then pay 20 pounds for it. Like it doesn't really matter. So I think if there's a color that you absolutely love that is not light fast, then you know, get it, use it, have it in your sketchbook, have it as a fading friend, in the words of Durwood. But yeah, I didn't pay any attention to like fastness when using this because I'm really trying to focus on like creating more intuitive art and just having fun with the process as opposed to the results. So it doesn't matter if it's like fast or not. And it's just been a happy accident that I've absolutely loved what I've created. Oh, thank you. You guys are honestly so kind. Thank you so much. Have some serious pen skills. Thank you. You need to get your jelly plates out. You've been ignoring them. I tried, so I wouldn't say I had the most successful of attempts with the jelly plates, but I did try um to like try different things and also just trying with like the brayer and whatnot. Um, I still haven't made my mind up about it. Like I still have it. I feel like I need to dedicate some time to experimenting with it, especially now that I've made some really nice colors as well. And just like play with it off a live stream, I think, so that I get comfortable with doing it, and then following that I can decide whether it's for me or not. uh, oh, thank you. Yeah, if you disclose, like, yeah. It wouldn't fit any pair of jeans in 120 years. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, I agree. You can only trust your own tests, and that's fine. So I just take everything as like, meh. It may be light fast, it may not be light fast. I feel like I trust the watercolor brands a bit more so. I also find that a lot of different artists have done their own light fastness tests and put them on there. So that's been really helpful. Oh yeah, or sealing. Yeah, I was looking at like varnishes and seals and things and like UV protectant varnish. I saw Laura Horn mention that, so I thought that might be helpful as well. Laurie, you like using real leaves and flowers in your jelly plate. That's it's funny because that's what Terry was telling me as well. And I was like, oh, the possibilities. I did get so messy while doing them. Um, but yeah. Oh, thank you so much. That is so kind of you. I really, really appreciate it. I'm so glad that you're enjoying it. I feel like we have an absolutely wonderful art community on here, and it really does make a difference. So yeah, these are, I'm thinking about, I don't know, I'm curious to know because obviously I put, when thinking about and putting together the Ko-fi Happy Meal tier, I did ask what rewards people would prefer, and the top choice was mystery slash mix. So some months you get dot cards, some months you get art prints, some months you get like whatever I feel like creating that month. But second was also watercolor dot cards. So for me, initially, I'm not going to lie, the thing that appeals to me most is watercolor dot cards because I love art supplies. As I'm sure you could probably tell. So because I love art supplies, that is definitely what like first and foremost caught my attention and what I thought would be really nice to do. So the Happy Meal tier will primarily be dot cards. However, now that I was also playing around with the idea of doing art prints, and I did think that it would be nice to include them every so often. Like, I absolutely love this. Anyway, I need to stop looking at my own thing, like no, 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 I don't I wish I could. I don't make my own watercolors. I am not that patient enough. Um, or that skilled or have that kind of time. But what I wanted to do was like, if because I have a range of different art suppliers, so do watercolor dot cards that will either be revolving around the art challenge that I'm doing that month so that you can see the colors that I'm playing with, or like comparing different colors from different brands. So for example, this first one is going to be comparing my favorite greens from different brands. The only caveat is that I can't include Roman Schmore because um, they haven't done tubes as of yet, and in theory, they are my very favorites. So apart from that, I will include. I'll be led by that. These are the other pages that I need to. So these two pages started off like this basically, and I just need to go over it and do something. I still really like this, so I still think that I'll let a lot of this poke through, but I'll play around with it. Then this, as I said, is a Ko-fi video coming soon where I mixed my own colors. These sneak peek of the colors that I mixed, and then sneak peek of some more of the abstract art that I made using the colors that I mixed. So lots of fun stuff coming up. You love my art haul videos. Thank you, and my accent. Um, Let me I feel like I'm missing comments. I'm so sorry. I don't like on one hand, I want us to, paint. On the other hand, I love chatting art supplies with you guys. And I think that there's just something so nice about chatting. So I'm gonna catch up with the chat and then and then I'll start painting. Um Let me see. Oh, okay. So according to the Dana Rani website, thank you for checking, Terry, the System 3 inks are all opaque, whereas the FW inks use more natural pigments. That's interesting. I should say actually that Dana Rani were ah, oh, I'm rearranging my studio so everything is everywhere. But I think that at the end of it is going to be better, like in in conjunction or in part of this whole let me relax a little bit more and let me enjoy my art process a bit more. I started thinking about my art environment and I basically started changing the things that I didn't like. So sometimes I felt quite boxed in, and now I've changed that basically, which is why you can see my background. But anyway, Dana Rani were kind enough to send me these um, acrylic inks to test out. So they've sent me the System 3 acrylic inks in the primary colors, the FW acrylic inks in the primary colors, and the watercolor inks in the primary colors. And this is going to be a video at some point comparing them. It's funny because initially I thought they were going to send me the whole range. I wanted the FWs in all the colors. That was my initial video idea, so that I can do the swatches. And then if you're buying the FW colors, you know what colors to get, because I find that swatches online sometimes are not that great. Um, but then they sent me this instead. And I was kind of confused. But ultimately, I guess the video that I could make from this is just comparing them and seeing what my thoughts are. But also what I'm really excited by is the fact that there's paint markers inside. So as much as I enjoyed doing these, I do think that um, I do feel like pens might be more comfortable to use long term. I like these because they're very, very fine points as well. So I think they're really nice for mark making. But I do also just want to explore using markers for bigger marks, but also just I feel like they'd be more comfortable. So these sets come with this, which is a marker pen that you fill up with paint, and then it has a ball inside, two balls. Yeah, two balls inside that just keep the acrylic moving and flowing. So this is honestly what I was really excited to try, as well as their different colors. So keep an eye out for that. That is good to know. Oh, Derek, you found my channel from the Roman Schmuel Urban Sketching palette. You made a sale and demo painting. Oh, thank you. The demo painting was awesome. Honestly, I loved that Domestica course. I can't even take credit for that painting because it was me following the Alex Hilkert's course. And usually I'm not that great at following courses in general because I'm quite impatient. I just like to get it going and things, but it was really, really good. You can, yeah, get a smaller jelly plate to practice. To be honest, I feel like if I'm getting a smaller jelly plate, I'm returning this one because this one was almost £30, which I was like, it's so expensive for what it feels like it is because I don't yet know how to use it. So we shall see. I know I hide my love of art supplies so well, you know. It's not like I have 18 art haul videos. Um, Oh, you love sorry, I end up on a thing. So I've been loving doing these abstract squares. So I started off with like this gigantic squares, and then I made these, which I absolutely loved. And then I made them with greens. So each time, like focusing on different art supplies, like these ones were primarily the acrylic inks. And then I went over it with a little bit of Neocolor twos. And then I found the acrylic inks were taking so long to dry and I was very impatient. So then this one was primarily watercolor with the artist Pit pens and no acrylic inks. And then I was like, oh, but I really like the acrylic inks. And so where was it? So then we used a mixture of both. And this is actually on the live stream that we did on Ko-fi. So if you want to see the process, is it? Yes. So if you want to see the process of how I created this one, you can. And then obviously I made this video yesterday for Ko-fi and I just need to edit it and put it together. But then as part of that, I made this, and this I also recorded and will make a Ko-fi video as well. I don't know. Let me know. Like, do you want? Well, I thought that it would be helpful to have this as a Ko-fi video because as I'm doing it, I'm kind of talking through my process, even though I don't think that there is like a perfect or a right way to do intuitive art or abstract art. That is just my opinion as a complete and utter beginner. So my opinion may change. So I was just talking through my process so that if you wanted to try doing something similar, you would have some sort of guide, even if it is quite vague. But yeah, that's basically why I did it real time and why I'll post this video at some point. But I feel like longer videos or more experimental videos like this, and even live streams like this where we're just chatting, I feel like they are more conducive to Ko-fi because there's like you know, like on YouTube now, I have no control. I have no control over where this video will go or who will see it or how big will it be or anything like that. Like it feels a little bit more exposed, whereas Ko-fi, I feel like it's a small group of friends. Does that make Oh wait, is this is the symbol for friends? Yeah, it's a small group of friends. Oh, when you paint with Roman Schmuel paints, do you ever paint with another brand like Daniel Smith? I haven't used my Roman Schmuel paints with other brands yet, since they are made differently. I I usually tend to just use I tend to use brand by brand. I don't know why I do that. It's just what I do. So I tend to, well, actually tell a lie. My main palette is primarily Roman Schmuel, but I do mix other brands in it. So this is my main palette that I'm using at the moment, and it has almost all are Roman Schmuel, apart from this cobalt teal, which is Daniel Smith. This in this Indanthrone blue is Core. This gold is Etcher, and this green I have like a phthalo green in here. That's Jackson's. And that's because I'm being more led by the colors rather than the brand. But usually I wouldn't like I almost base it by palette. So I wouldn't be using this palette and then be like, oh, let me bring out my other palette and start mixing everything together. I do have another palette that's like, I think of this one. this one is like a mixture of a whole bunch of brands, like but this I've put together because these are essentially the new colors that I bought in an art haul, and I put them all in a palette because these are the colors that started exploding when I opened them. So I had to put them into half pans, and I haven't sorted them into their forever homes as of yet. But in answer to your question, yes, you can mix Romish with other watercolors, and you can mix any, I find, almost all watercolors together. Cause to me is the most different of them all because it like literally runs around the page all the time, and I mix it with my Romish all the time, like all the time, because I love adding that in Danthering blue to deepen and darken my greens, and it just means that the color that I then make also runs around the page. Like the core kind of overtakes the properties of the Romish. So you can definitely try mixing them. And I think that's also the beauty, because then in theory you don't need to have 4 sets of watercolors or any to one specific brand. You can just pick and match your favorite colors from each brand and then make your perfect palette, which is something that I would love to do. Although I feel like most of the colors would be Romish, but just putting it out there. I do also love Daniel Smith though, not gonna lie. Like my Romish by far as are my go-to, but I do also have this palette, for example, in my portable painter. These are all, these are all Daniel Smith watercolors, which again, I love. I think I don't reach for it as much because they are just more expensive, and it's like, oh, so I tend to treat them in a more precious way, but also I just enjoy the Romish so much that I feel like I don't need to go elsewhere. A very long-winded answer to your question. Oh, thank you so much, Sarish. Yeah, I do think it's so funny because Dr. Otokano used to have a tier where she would send out dot cards, and I wanted to join it so badly. And then what happened? And then I think I don't know if she's still doing Patreon as much or stopped or something happened. So, but I still really like the idea of dot cards. So, but also, yes, and to Astroglio's point, because although I don't organize it, like I don't feel like I could organize it in a way that would make sense. But in theory, on my Ko-fi, because everyone kind of knows each other, and you know, yeah, because everyone kind of knows each other and we've been chatting for months and whatnot, people will do like swaps every so often of different art supplies, or also just like chatting through things, or like, sharing swatches. Like that's always so awesome. Random question. If you could recommend a tiny palette, let's leave this open to the floor as well, because I know we all have a wealth of experience. So if you could recommend a tiny palette for a new watercolor artist, what would you say? Specific brand or general colors? Happy to listen to any advice. Oh gosh, such a good question. So I'm biased because let me first start off by saying that there are a number of really good quality artist grade brands, and a lot of the time there might be a wild variation in price because of where you are in the world. So I don't think that necessarily more expensive is always the best way to go. I think that there's professional grade watercolors, and that depending on where you are in the world, certain ones will be more accessible to you. So for me in Europe, well, in the UK, Windsor and Newton is easily accessible, but they are standard, but like run of the mill watercolors. Let me just say, my favorites are Romish, like hands down. I can get them from Jackson's. They have, if you are completely new and you want to just like dip your toe and see if you like it, they have I think £11 art set that has 5 colors inside them, and these are very good for like if you want to do color mixing and you want to kind of see if you like how the paints feel, and to just dip your toes inside watercolor. Although it's not that many colors, and although it doesn't look as like you know, sexy as the others because there's no like palette or whatnot. I think that that's a really good place to start. But in terms of like brands, I've listed them out in my last video as well. But basically, Roman Schmall, um, Daniel Smith, Sennelier, Holbein, um, Core are a bit different. So Core are fun, but I don't know if I would necessarily recommend them for beginners, just because they move on their own and they behave differently to standard watercolors. So I feel like they are like different. If you are coming from a medium where you like for the paint to move a lot and you like for the paint to have its own personality, then you might like core paints. But if you are literally just trying to understand how to use watercolor in the traditional sense, then I would probably say leave core until you've tried the other brands. Schminke is good. I'm looking around to see if I've missed anyone. I think I've said Winsor & Newton. So I think any of those brands would work. I would probably start with the split primary, which basically means an orangey yellow and and a greeny yellow. So something an orangey yellow might be like a quinacridone gold. I love that. Or quinacridone gold hue. Um, a lemon yellow would be like your run of the mill standard bright yellow. Then for the blues, I'd say ultramarine blue and maybe like a phthalo blue or like a light sky blue. And then for the reds, I'd say pick a pinky red and then a bright telephone box kind of red. And with those colors, you can get a good range of mixtures. I would probably add a burnt umber to it as well because it's versatile. You'll be able to mix it to make really nice grays. It can be a bit harder to try and mix it when using your own colors, making them muddy. So it's just easier to get. And then I would also say that if you watch any of my swatching videos, for example, and then as you're watching them, you're like, wow, I really like that color. That color is beautiful. Even if it doesn't make sense, I would still get it so that you have a color that you enjoy and that you have fun with. Um, but I think if I knew then what I know now, which is a video that I am thinking about making, that is basically how I would approach it. So I would start with the split primary. I would add a burnt umber. I would add any colors that like really inspire or excite me. And then like these are swatches, for example. And then instead of buying the same set from lots of different brands, I would then look at different brands for the different properties that they have and start adding colors that way. So um you know, if I like colors that separate or colors that have special effects or colors that move around the page, like I mentioned, core, then I would get that rather than keep getting the starter set. And if you're really not sure and you don't want to get the colors individually, then I would recommend Daniel Smith has a starter set that has 6 colors, but also a travel kit. Like the Roman Schmall has their urban sketching kit. Who else has one? Not I think is it just Roman Schmall? Let me know if there's anybody else who has a travel kit. I think um Winsor and Newton also have a travel kit, and basically these will have 12 colors. Great place to start. You get a palette, you get your 12 colors, you roll with it, and then you don't have to worry about getting your own colors. Sorry for the long-winded answer. You bought all the FW inks, Miss Ebony. Please swatch them. I really want to see. I added Velvet Violet to my basket, and I'm in and ahhing as to whether to get it. I need to decide today. Fountain pens are the supplies that keep you broke. For me, it's watercolor. Honestly. Call me Miss Rogers. Yeah, it's past 4 a.m. in London. I know it's wild. I can't sleep. Like, why am I even trying at this point? The time has no meaning is nights. Nights just ruin it. I've been on nights for it's just really weird. Like I was on nights last week, then on days, then nights again, and then I'm on days again. Like it's just back and forth. So um Thank you so much, Laurie. Time is a fictional concept. mm, you set from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. See, even if I could do that, I would be like, okay, then at least I have the rest of the day. This is a bit wild. Like, I don't know what time I'll fall asleep, but it's fine. Mm, I am catching up. Speaking of exploding colors, there, M. Hardings were definitely wanting to be free. For me, I don't know if it's colors that fly abroad. Do you know what I mean? So for me, the Daniel Smith almost always explode out of the tube. Like there's no point me even opening them without having a half pan to hand. Cool. That was an explosion. Uh, and thank you for your answer. You have all of yours separated. I hope that helps. Let me see. I was thinking about the Twisby, but really and truly, I was like, okay, you know what? I have a Lamy. Let me just manage with the Lamy for now. Like, I getting falling in love with watercolor was expensive. Falling in love with mixed media as well as like, well, then watercolor first, and then I fell in love with gouache. That took a hit, and then like now, like a whole mixed media. It's like there's only so much my pockets can take. Mm, I have the fake Lamy too, to be honest. I got that from Temu, but I haven't really used it. But I should. Uh oh, I did not know that Natasha Newton does a tier for dot cards. I need to look at it. Because I was looking, yeah, because I knew that Dr. Otokano was on a break. I'll look at Natasha's one later. Yeah, I understand why they can be sold out though, because they are one, it's work. Oh yeah, that's also a very good point. So I recently did K K Hannah. I always say this song K Hannah Honey Hughes. I like the name. I like the alliteration. But I always get stuck. Hand makes watercolors. If you are looking for handmade watercolors, then definitely check her out. She sent me like this beautiful collection of colors and also dot cards. And the dot cards were thick, like thick, practically quarter pans. So that was lovely. Dr. Otokano's in Japan. That would be why. And let me see. Oh yes, yes, Renee, you're very right. Da Vinci, if you are in the US, that's a very good shout. Um, yeah, I'm contemplating because I wanted to buy Da Vinci anyway. And you know how there's like this trend going around about girl math and boy math or whatever. I feel like there should be another trend for like artist math, because for me, like if I look at something and like if I were to do like a skit or a short, it would be something along the lines of, oh, I need to buy a kneadable eraser or needed eraser. Huh, it's £3. And then I look on Jackson's or whatever, and it says, wow, I get free shipping if I spend 100. So I need to spend 100. And look, now, now I've saved money because I'm not spending on shipping. Like this is literally how I think it through. So likewise with Da Vinci, I just need to I was my first thought when I saw shipping was like, I just need to fly to the US and then I'll get free shipping. Or alternatively, I'll send it to my aunt and then get free shipping, or literally the reason that I didn't buy everything because I also wanted to get Denise Soden's Earth Friendly set. But I'm just worried about customs. I don't want them to stop and be like, oh, you're trying to buy $200 worth of paints. Here's like 20% on top. Mm. It's Ebony Twisby. No, Roman Schmall are via Jackson's. Puff Pets. That's where I get them from as well. They don't even. Can you imagine? They are doing such big things, and yet are still such a small company. Like I think that's also why I love them because they are doing big things. You know, they're on Jackson's. They're absolutely loved. I think you know, um, I guess like in part they're loved amongst the art community, and I feel like because they then started also getting popular on YouTube, they're like kind of skyrocketed, and yet like they don't have a website, you know, like they have a Facebook, but they don't have a website. They have a store. I just think they're so cute. Paul Rubens also good for beginners. Um, yeah, I get them from Jackson's as well, and if you use my code, you get 10% off. I've linked that in the description, I should say. Da Vinci Roman Schmall and Paul Rubens. You can only do light fast. Roman Schmall's light fast as well. Well, not all the colors, obviously, but most of them. Yeah. I'm loving all these recommendations. Burnt umber, split primary. Split primary. I love Roman Schmall. Yeah, I agree that they're professional. It's so funny because the reason that obviously I can't take credit for their blow up, but I would say that I was, early on in the game with Roman Schmall, and it was because they were really cheap. Like their price was really, really well, not really. Yeah, it was a lot cheaper than all the other brands, and I'd bought the Winsor& and Newton student grade. I then bought the Van Gogh, student grade of Rembrandt, but I wanted to get slightly nicer watercolors. And I kept seeing Jackson's being mentioned. And then when I went on Jackson's, everything was expensive, but Roman Schmall was cheaper. So I bought the Roman Schmall thinking that they were student grade because they were on student grade prices, and I like loved using them. Like I literally just kept using them all the time. I kept talking about them, making YouTube videos about them, and I was like, this is fantastic. And from there, I think I then later got the Daniel Smith and started using the Daniel Smith. And I was like, wait, the Daniel Smith don't feel like that different. Like I wasn't enjoying using the Daniel Smith more than I was enjoying using the Roman Schmall. And then it quickly occurred to me that actually Roman Schmall were professional grade. They were just priced very lowly because I don't know why. And also people didn't know. And in that time, in those videos, I would say like, oh my gosh, they're such a good price. But I'm scared about the fact that I keep saying this because I feel like at some point they will realize that they're undercharging and then increase their prices accordingly. Alas, that happened this year. But still. Um, Yeah, no, I don't mind Winsor& and Newton. I've used to use Winsor& and Newton, the Cotman range primarily, but I feel like they're just like standard watercolors. They're inoffensive. I'm also I like Schminke as well, but again, I don't find them that exciting. Like for me, my favorites definitely are Winsor& and Newton and Roma Schmall. But I do feel like the others are also good quality. Oh, yes. Rosa Gallery just came as well, and they have really beautiful bright colors. Again, I feel like they are one that were pricing lower than they should have. And very slowly, I feel like they'll be like, wait, why are we pricing this like when our competitors are not? And then they'll increase. But for now, they are a very good price on Jackson's as well. And I've left my affiliate link for Jackson's down below in the description, just in case you are interested. Um, so that you can take a quick look at them. And then if you use my code Scrubs10, you get 10% off, irrespective of whether you're a new person or you've bought from Jackson's before. But if you are brand new, then you get an extra 10% off for using my link. Mm. FOMO is real. Uh, Yeah, I have one Lamy Safari, one fake Safari, and I, to be honest, wanted to get another Lamy Safari because I almost felt like I should just have one studio set and one set that I use to take things outdoors. Like, um, Etcher, very, very. Oh, I brought this out just to highlight some of the colors, by the way. I'll show you in a second. But Etcher very kindly gifted me this, which is their field case. And I just wanted to have it packed and ready to go for when I go out because it's nice and small. It can fit in my handbag, and I would just be able to have all my different art supplies in here. And I've made a video basically highlighting the different supplies that I do put in here. But more times than not, I'll put it in, and then when I come home and I want to create, I'll end up taking it out because it's all my favorite things, the things that I keep using over and over. But if I had duplicates, then I would be able to have one this always ready to go and not have to pack it, and then also have like my studio always stocked. So I might do that because nice and easy. Loves your uncle. You think it's just, oh, maybe it is just Daniel Smith then. Oh, you know what? That comment makes me laugh. Messy Desk, welcome to the live stream because Creating Cute Art, who's another YouTuber that I love on here, who's an art YouTuber, basically has gone down this rabbit hole of fountain pens. And I was like, I cannot join you. I cannot fall in love with fountain pens. They literally look like works of art in themselves. But yeah, if you love fountain pens and you love art, then you'll probably really enjoy her channel as well. And then the Twisby I saw getting recommended by Toby Sketch Loose. He does like lots of great videos on urban sketching. He's also based in the UK. So he kept mentioning that, I think. Puff pets. If my Daniel Smith doesn't explode, I feel sad. You're so immune. Let me. Yeah. So honestly, when she went down that kind of route, I was like, I cannot look. I must look away. I mean, I'd still watch the videos, but I was like, I'm not buying any more fountain pens. I'm stopping at the Lamy Safaris, and that will just have to be that. Mm. Oh, I'm way behind. My bad. Hold on. You guys are still laughing about artist math. I keep having these random examples in my head because, like, um, like especially like when they were having Black Friday sales, like artist math was really mathing because there would be things I'd be like, oh, I'm not sure if I'll need this in 6 months, but I may need it, and so I should buy it now because then I'm saving 20%. Like, mm, the Jane Blunder. Oh, that's a very good point. Hold on. I did swatch this out. So this is the top 30s. It's a separate video, by the way, that I've made where I swatched out the favorite 30 Roma Schmall colors. And it's a video that I can link down below for you. And the top 30 were essentially picked by me as well as by you guys. I just looked through all the colors that you kept recommending. And then I've done so many swatches. These, oh, and I should say, special shout out to Astroglio because these are all swatched out on 100% cotton watercolor paper because she was so horrified by the fact that I was swatching out on cellulose paper and not showing these colors in their true beauty, and thus sponsored a whole bunch of 100% cotton watercolor paper that I could use solely for the purpose of swatching. And that is why we have these beautiful swatches here, all swatched on 100% cotton watercolor paper. I'm looking because I also swatched out the Jane Blundell set. I don't know where I've put the swatch card. Yeah, I don't know where I've put the swatch card, but I will leave the video linked down below in the description so that you can see them swatched out as well if you are considering the set. I do feel like sometimes I don't understand Jackson sometimes. I do feel like they should make a bit more effort with their swatching. Like even when they swatch out their own colors, they make them look so streaky and unappealing, and I really don't know why. So I said I'll link the Jane Blundell video. I'll link the top 30 Roman Schmall video, and if I said anything else that I'll link, please let me know, because I always feel like I'm going to say one or two things, and then so many pertinent videos come up, and then I completely forget. Oh yeah, Kirsty Rice's palette. I wanted to try it because they look very different to others. But the shipping, it's always the shipping, man. Even like Royal Mail, like it's getting me with this Happy Mail because there's so many different things that I want to send out, and it's literally the shipping. Like if it's above 100 grams, the price jumps up. If it's higher than, if it's 0.6 centimeters thick or more, the price doubles. Like, is that not wild? The first time that I did Happy Mail for Kofi, and it wasn't for like this tier because this tier is new, but I just did it as a thank you because I really do appreciate the support on there, and it was keeping me going. The first time I did the Happy Mail, because I didn't know about the 0.6 millimeter, like 0.6 centimeter rule, all the shipping that like I'd budgeted for a certain amount in shipping, and all the shipping was completely wrong, and it was more than double the price. And and I had so many to send out, and obviously at a point, honestly, I just gave up, and I was like, "That's fine. I'm just going to pay it. Like, what else can I do?" And the lady at the counter at the post office was so distraught for me, that she was like, "No, like let's open." She started opening all the envelopes with me. Oh, am I frozen again? My hands. Okay, so sometimes, let me just give a heads up. Sometimes this happens where I assume you can still hear me, but you can't see me because I have frozen. And that is because my laptop has frozen, but my phone is still working. So you should be able to still see my hands moving. And if that is the case, please let me know, because I can't see yeah, just my little picture is frozen. Yeah. I can't see the chat at this point, unless I'm looking at my phone. I can't select different chats. I can't do anything. In fact, I just have to hope and pray that my computer doesn't completely shut down, because if that happens, then the stream ends. But long story short, my computer is frozen. Oh, anyway, back to the post office story. So she was so distraught for me that we started opening up all the envelopes to try and squeeze it, because it was just that the dot cards that I'd made were so thick that they couldn't go through the slots. So we were just trying to like flatten them out so that they're still the same amount of paint, but they can actually go through the slots. Because I was like, I already felt so embarrassed, and I'm a millennial. I don't even go to the post office that often, and this is maybe the first time I'd gone in like 6 years, and I'd got it all so wrong. But anyway, she helped me like flatten all these bits of Happy Mail, and and eventually we weren't able to flatten all of them, but we were certainly able to flatten. Oh, I should be back. The white screen has disappeared. I was eventually able to flatten enough of them that I could actually like afford to send all of them. And she was very, very sweet. And she still remembers me when I go there to send Happy Mail, because of how much time and how wrong I got that entire shipping experience. So hopefully I'll be better. Let me catch up with your chat. So yeah, this issue with the computer is so annoying, because obviously my laptop now struggles to edit videos. So my way to get around that was to do live streams, but as you can probably tell, it's now also struggling to do live streams. So at some point it will stop working altogether. And that is, the goal that I have on my Ko-fi that I'm trying to hit, is to actually be able to get a new laptop so that I can actually create videos without it taking twice as long and without it freezing. The goal does tend to move, because I do spend money on YouTube and running Ko-fi and Discord and whatnot. So when I'd set that goal, I'd kind of like set just the goal for the laptop, forgetting that I spend money each month to actually do stuff for YouTube, and subscriptions and stuff like that. But we are almost there. And my hope is that by my birthday, maybe. Hopefully I'll be able to afford a laptop. We'll see. At least it's not as bad. Like, do you remember there was like a 3-month period where I literally couldn't make videos and I was editing on my phone, and that's just not sustainable long term because the screen is small, my wrists hurt, blah 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 blah. The reasons go on and on and on. But basically, yeah, if ever the small screen freezes, that's basically what is happening. But so far, thank God, at least it then comes back. Yeah, Daniel Smith is like Copic. They feel that they will never have competition. And look at Copic and Who now. No, Daniel Smith does move gas sometimes. They're boy. It's just so annoying because the paints are really nice. I'm like, they don't actually need to be doing all these marketing acrobatics with like, they could just do normal standard marketing, but no, they either do questionable marketing or they do no sales. Like, even although as I say that, for the first time in years, Jackson's are actually doing a Daniel Smith sale at the moment. I don't know if the prices are that much better than they normally are, in all honesty. But usually when Jackson's does an all paint sale, it excludes Daniel Smith. Apart from right now. Oh, hey Barbara. Don't worry, I haven't even started painting because I've got so distracted just chatting. Oh wait, yeah, let me do it like this. I was just going to do florals, but I'm so used to doing the 8 panels that I was going to add more. But yeah, I do feel like Daniel Smith will have competition. I feel like Roman Schmall will come for them because, like, when Roman Schmall finally drops their tubes, it's all over. Everybody best, like every other art brand best watch out. I'm joking, kind of. I may do the YouTube short. Drop in the comments your artist math like ideas and suggestions. For me, it would be the fact that anytime I look at something and then I see that actually I need to spend, I don't know, something ridiculous like 100 times more to get, or 50 times more to get free shipping, that makes sense to me. Oh, please, yes, and please and thank you. Please hit the like button if you're enjoying this video. I know that I know that all we've done is like chat for an hour, but honestly, sometimes that is all that is needed. It's a whole bunch of fun. It's almost like it makes me wonder, is this a podcast? Like, I don't really listen to podcasts apart from Natasha Newton has a podcast with Crixus and Melanie Chadwick called, I think, The Creative Catch Up. And I like listening to that. But apart from that, I never really understood what podcasts were, especially like video podcasts. Because in my head, are video podcasts not just videos? Like, what is the difference between a video podcast and just a normal video? If anyone knows, please let me know. Also, I was checking to see Natasha Newton's dot cards, but I can't see it. So I'm not sure why, but anyway, I'll maybe check it out later. But I can only see 3 tiers, and they don't have dot cards. But yeah, is this a podcast? Because we're all here chatting amongst ourselves, and in theory, you could just listen back to this. What pen did you use over the swatches? Do you mean these swatches? What pen did I use over the swatch? Oh no, you mean You mean these, Laurie? Let me know if that's what you mean. But essentially, I printed out these swatches myself. So what I usually do is I drew out all these like little leaves. I've actually made it available for Kofi members so that if you want to, I made yeah, I made like a whole booklet that has a whole bunch of different leaves and different shapes so that you're able to print it out yourself and then swatch over it, or you're able to print it out on normal paper and trace over it if you want to like get more practice painting leaves. But essentially, what I normally do is I draw the leaves, I then digitize them, so either draw them on my iPad or draw them in paper and then take a picture of it and put it on Canva. And then I have a bank of all these different leaves. I print them out and then I swatch over them. When I was drawing them by hand, because I mean that's what I was doing initially before the printer, and of course it still works, I was using the uni pin. Where are they? I was using the uni pin fine liners, but any waterproof pen will work. In theory, even like a Bic or Biro pen will work well. It's just that the lines are thicker and I like having thin lines. But otherwise, I was using when drawing them by hand, I was using the Unipin fine liners 0.2 and 0.3 size because I like them to be thin. But otherwise, I'm using my beautiful printer, which changed my life because look at how many swatch cards I'm able to make now. So the digital prints, the digital versions of this that basically has the leaves without the names of the paints so that you can write them on yourself are available on Ko-fi. And I also sent them out as Happy Mail a little while back. So I printed it out in case you don't have a printer that has waterproof ink. I printed them out and then also sent them there. So I'm just checking to see if I can quickly get the link for you in case anyone wants the swatch cards. Whoops. Oh, here they are. And here it is. I did change Ko-fi slightly. There was just like a few unfortunate incidences of people like stealing my stuff. So basically what I did is that the rewards that I released that month are free for all the members who are there that month. If you then join later, you have access to them anyway, but just for a smaller fee. I mean, in theory, if someone really wants to steal it, they will still steal it. But I was like, at the very least, if they want to steal everything, they'll have to pay something for each one. Like, I don't feel like I hope it's a deterrent, basically. But that's that. You want a glass dip pen. You know what? I have a glass dip pen and I didn't even realize what it was. I thought it was broken. It was a pen that I got from Venice that I need to dig out. And I was like, oh, it doesn't have any. I thought it was meant to be a fountain pen. And I was like, oh, it doesn't have anywhere for me to put the ink, and I've bought it. Fine, it's just going to have to be a piece of decoration, which was fine with me. But now I realize it's actually a dip pen that I can use. So I didn't do the dot. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't do the swatches and paint over it. Did the printing, or I do the drawing first and then I paint over that so that I can see what the opacity is like, so that if I want to do a painting like a line drawing over if I want to do a line drawing and then paint over it, I want to know whether the paint is going to completely cover it or not, and just to assess the opacity as a whole instead of just doing that one line. PTSD from the post office. Okay, I think I've caught up. No? Oh my, no, I'm all the way back. My bad. Oh my goodness. How am I so far behind? I'm so sorry. Swatch that like button. Sketch Nation, I love it. Oh, thank you so much for joining, Juan. Oh my gosh, I hope that you're still in this live stream and that you can see that I am grateful. I'm just so massively behind. I didn't realize. I think also because it froze, so I couldn't see the comments. But no, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so excited. You've never listened to a podcast. Yeah, neither. Well, I've listened to that podcast, but not the rest. And as I say, I wonder if this technically counts as a podcast because we are literally just chatting. Is that not what a podcast does? Um, what is my printer? That is a good question. And I'm sorry that all my answers are so slow because oh my laptop's freezing again. Hold on. But this is my printer. These are like the different models of my printer, and I've put I've put the links there so that you can get them as well. Hold on. So my printer is this link and it can print A3. So it's big, like it's really big. It can print A3 and A4 paper. But then the other one, the one that's 380 is the A4 printer. So the second link is the A4 printer, and this first link that I've just sent that's on the screen now is the A3 printer, which is mine. There are a number of different models. Like I think they come out with a new one each year. I just got whichever one was cheaper at that time. my Yeah, maybe Natasha removed the dot card tier. That's the thing, because I think it's hard to make the I think it's hard. I don't know. I'll see how it goes, but I do think it can be hard to do physical reward tiers because it of the cost you then incur. I think it's easy to start losing money if you don't do the physical reward tier well, or not even if you don't do it well. I think if not enough people join the physical rewards tier so that you only have a few people on it, then you're paying quite a lot buying, envelopes and everything else. Like the logistics of it is more expensive than the money that you're actually going to make back. Especially if you're then also buying art supplies to send out, like, but you know what? The heart wants what the heart wants. Yeah, no, I haven't. I know this is so wild. I can't believe I've just been chatting with you for over an hour and I haven't even painted. I am so sorry. I'm gonna have to like change the the title or something so as to not mislead people. Oh, okay. So it's not a podcast because I'm actually chatting with you, rather than just talking about my own thing. That's at least. I Yeah, I don't know, I watched so many videos and I was recommended the printer that's the XP970. I think that's the one that Mini Small used to use as well, but it just could not print any prints. Like it just had a white line running through it. They replaced it a number of times. It still had the same issue. And then I bought this beautiful printer, which Marina, one of our Ko-fi members, had actually suggested to me, and I was using it to print swatch cards. And it is only today that it occurred to me, like, hold on, this is a color printer. I wonder if it can print art prints. And look at this. I'm so excited. Hold on. I keep showing you this because I'm genuinely so proud of it. And you don't even understand how much I spent hundreds on paper, on inks, on the printer, trying to do my own art prints like 3 years ago, and it just failed completely. So to just do it off the cuff and have it be successful just made me so happy. Like so happy. So I really do feel your pain. If it's still within warranty, because mine was for a year, although it was each one that they sent me was worse than the last one. Um, they they will replace it or at least try to repair it, Barbara. So maybe try reaching out to the company. Mm, No chat on a podcast. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if it's like, I mean, it's managed to print on my 300 GSM watercolor paper. I have just bought some handmade paper because I love this art print, right? I have no complaints. My only thing is with these art prints and a lot of art prints that I've received as well, the paper is smooth. I want this to feel like the painting. So I want to get some watercolor paper and try printing on that. Now, obviously, the potential risk is that it will drink up my ink and it will end up costing a whole bunch of money. However, let me try it and see what happens. and then and then we'll see because Bockingford, which is a watercolor paper brand, does have like printer paper, but that's really expensive. Like printer friendly watercolor paper, but it's really expensive. So again, that would negate the point. But whole bunch of different experimenting coming. And Puff Pets, who are you asking what printer is that? My printer, I will link for you again. And I think my model is the 7830, but I think they have 783, 7820, 7840, 7850. Like they do one every year. I just got whichever one was on sale and seemed to be working well. it is it a scanner as well? It is a scanner and it prints A3, but there's also the A4 version. The only con is that it's massive and it is really heavy. Oh, my printer. I've sent the link. So it's an Epson printer. This is the link. Paper, maybe, but that's even more expensive. And I feel like really and truly people, I think it depends. I don't know if um I want things to I don't want things to be too expensive. Oh, good night, Astroglio. Thank you. Oh my gosh, it's about that time where we're gonna start crossing over. Thank you so much for joining the live stream and sleep well. And if everyone who's watching, if you are enjoying the video, then please hit the like button. Thank you. um, yeah, it was very affordable and it prints, so I can't really complain. The ink is where they make the money though. The ink is expensive. Let me see. Okay, I am actually going to do a painting, quickish painting, and still chat with you guys because I love it. So I'm using the Caddy Fat Book, which has 100% handmade cotton rag watercolor paper. Oh, these are the other prints that I made because I was like, oh, maybe I'll give these out. This is the front. I've just stuck it on the back so that I remember all the details of it. So 100 GSM, so it's thin paper, but it's worked well, and I like it as it's funny because when I made this, I said this is not a place for finished pieces, and it's not. And yeah, I like love a lot of the paintings in here, but I'm also incredibly carefree with this, where like I have pages like this that I need to go back and like sort out at some point. Whereas I have swatches. This is from our last art haul. So it's like a nice mess around sketchbook. It is 13.50 from Jackson's. Is it 13.50? Yeah, it's 13.50 from Jackson's. As in £13.50. And then if you use my 10% off, then it is I can't even 13.50 minus £1.35 is what, £12.15. Yeah, that's the thing. That I saw the eco tank. The only thing is, I don't know if the eco tank takes the waterproof ink correct me if I am wrong. Oh no, but also the eco tank is expensive, but then again you save money on the ink, you know, so it's hard. But for now I'm not going back. Like, I'm just so happy that I finally have a printer that works. I still don't know what to do with the other one because, you know, at the end of the day, like, hope is the last to die. I don't know, I don't want to let it go. I got this. I know that we said art haul. So let me show you some of the other supplies. So you will have seen this in the video that I did sharing different art supplies. And this is the Color Cube by Sarah Renee Clark. And I haven't actually used it yet, but I'm going to. Why? Because as I opened my palette, I was wondering to myself, ooh, what color scheme should I do? Oh, I'm holding it backwards. I was wondering to myself, oh, what color scheme should I do? And I was like, wait, this is exactly the reason that I bought this. So pick a number 1 to 250, and then we'll just randomly pick out a color card and hope that it's a color scheme that I can create something with. 77, cool. Renee, I would contact Epsom directly as well. When mine was acting up, I just contacted them and they sent me, in all fairness, this is 77. Oh, look at this. This will look as if I like cheated because this is like the kind of color scheme that I love. But yeah, I contacted Epsom directly because it was outside of Amazon's warranty, and they replaced it 3 times. So they sent me 3 new printers, as in like swap them out rather than just give me the free printer. And each one was worse than the other. Like, it literally, I don't know what was wrong with it. I bought like nice gliche paper, I bought card, I bought like printer paper. It didn't matter. Each time that I printed, it had, every inch had a 1-line vertical line going across the painting. And at the time I was trying to do Etsy as well, and I just ended up making such a loss. These are the colors. We have light pink, white smoke, clay, mimosa, amber. Yeah, I feel like I have all the colors apart from maybe white. Like, I'll probably just use white for the white smoke and lightish pink. And I'm going to do, let me get my big brush for the background. Yeah, you can definitely try and make your own. I looked I looked into making my own. The only issue, or the main thing that stopped me, was the manufacturing cost of actually making the cards. But otherwise, I think it's great. Like, I would love to make my own. But for now, I think this will do for me. So I am using quinacridone gold hue, and I'm also using some of that golden ochre and adding some quinapsolone yellow so that it's got like that bright pop of yellow as well as the orangey kind of colors. Oh no, it's seeping underneath. And I'm just using like roughly the colors that I feel will match it. I don't think it has to be completely perfect. It does have that little bit of pink in it. So I don't have, do I have? No. I feel like I don't have light pink. What I do have is, I think Potter's pink won't be bright enough. Let's see. No, Potter's pink is not bright enough. Magenta is probably too bright. But I do feel like maybe I'll make it like mixed media-esque. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. So I'm just wetting the edge here because I don't want there to be like a super harsh line between the background and when the flowers will start. But I'm dragging the paint away from the center because I don't want it to all be yellow. Basically creating a bit of a gradient and then just adding a little bit more paint everywhere. And good night, Laurie. Oh, what did I miss? I have tried. I agree. They were actually a very, very kind gift from a subscriber, Sherry, a little while back. So I did try them for a little bit. I think this is perhaps the one and only drawback of having so many art supplies is that then you have too many to use frequently. Just soaking up some of that extra color. That extra water rather. But also dropping hints of color. And I don't have that pink, but this is one of the pinks that I made. And let me see if it will. And this is like a really nice light pink. So I'm just adding little elements of it, which is fine. And then I just need to use the correct brush, right? I don't want to start using my watercolor brush to do acrylics and just ruin the bristles. So just adding that bit of pink using my self-mixed acrylic color, which is a beautiful pink that goes with this. Oh, good night. Everyone's going to sleep, understandably. So let me dry this. I was going to let it dry and then start another one, but give me 2 seconds. I will mute you and I will dry. And as I do so, I will also read and catch up on any comments that I may have missed. And if I have missed your comment, and by missed it, like I haven't replied or I haven't put it on screen, then please just send it again. It is just that sometimes I miss them when multitasking. Not that I'm ignoring you. I'm back. Everyone's catching up on the time. The messy desk, where are you? 1 p.m. Like, I don't even understand. You must be ahead. Like, way, way ahead. Couldn't be behind. You worked a graveyard shifts for 13 years and are still a night out. Honestly, takes me like a good 2 weeks to bounce back. Oh, you're in Singapore. Yeah, 8 hours ahead. Yeah, that makes sense. I was like 1 p.m. Whoopsie. Okay. I'm wondering what color to do the flowers. Because I like the reference and the colors. The only thing is that I'm like, there's not actually that much contrast. Let me see. I'm kind of curious. This is buff titanium. No, I don't like it. As in, like, I like it normally, but I don't like it in this painting. Let me just go with the magenta and the cherry quin red. And you know what would be helpful? Somewhere to actually mix my colors. So try mixing the cherry quin red with the buff. That is accidentally what happened in the middle, actually. Great minds think alike. Come to Singapore, it's always summer. Always. I would love to be honest. It's funny because I went to Thailand, but before then I was kind of like, I don't know, I didn't really know where to go in Asia. And I mean, I guess the more like YouTube videos and stuff I started watching about art supplies, the more I was like, let me go to Japan. But just honestly, I went to Thailand and absolutely loved it. So now it really has opened up the world for me. Which reminds me, if you guys would like an art retreat at some point in the future, or to support me having an art retreat at some point in the future, then please click on the link in, I think it's called the Trova link in the description. It will just ask you questions about where you would like to travel, what kind of things you would like to do, what the budget is. And once enough people that meet the budget actually reply, then in theory I can start working with the company potentially to start working on potentially having an art retreat, which I would love. Because I mean, I already love traveling and creating art. The idea of being able to do it together just makes it so much better. So I think it does ask you for your details, but more so that once rather, let me be more positive. Once this actually goes through, then I think you'll like be notified to say like, the trip that you were interested is going live kind of thing. Before then, I don't actually have access. So I don't actually know who's completed it, who hasn't completed it. I don't get any of the details until and unless I actually hit the threshold. I know an art retreat would be so amazing. Can you imagine? Like we're literally here 5 a.m., 1 p.m., 9 p.m., depending on where you are in the world, hanging out and painting. But the idea of doing it like face to face, going art supply shopping together, bring in your own arts, like bring in all your art supply. Imagine like I brought all my art supplies and you brought all your art supplies. We just had them out on the table and we're able to just use and try out different supplies and swatch out and like and then travel. Like, I mean, I'm open to do it anyway. I'm actually curious to know where people will want to do it. Obviously, I love traveling to Italy for the food as well as the sites. So the idea of being able to do all of that together is amazing. Um, and that is what I'm honestly very much looking forward to doing it one day. And but yeah, and we shall see. Now I think, yeah, when I look at it, it's like, okay, ideally if people complete it now, then by 2025 it should be grand. However, I guess in theory, if people, depending on when people signaled and everything, things could in theory move fast and it could be like autumn next year. I don't think it'd be summer because it'd be peak time. And I can see like rough results. I can't see who said what, but looking at the rough results with the budget that people are putting, um, traveling to Europe in summer isn't going to happen. But autumn, autumn could work, I think. And I don't know, I saw that Sarah Tepes had used them. It's kind of how like I discovered them and I found out about them because initially I was looking at what's the name of this company? You know, the one that is really popular at the moment. I've forgotten their name. Yeah, Love Autumn Best. I've forgotten their name, but there's another company that does art retreats. Anyway, I looked into them and I asked them and they were like, oh no, um I actually have no shame. The number of things that I tell you guys, it doesn't actually make sense. But anyway, they told me that it was invitation only, right? And I was like confused. So I didn't realize that they were like rejecting me and saying like no. I was like, oh, so who needs to invite me? Like, how do I get this invitation so that I can do it? And they were like very politely trying to tell me like it's a no from us kind of thing. But anyway, so I found a different company that other YouTubers have also used that seems to be quite good and reputable. And also just started like seeing others like Alex Hillkirk's uses another one that's based in Italy, but they are more expensive, like 3 times the price of this one. An art cruise. I've never been on a cruise. Would I be open to it? I'm in two minds, only because as I've got it actually sucks. As I've got older, I'm gonna add green. I feel like it's not part of the color. Oh, then again, um, as I've got older, I've started getting motion sickness. Wild, I know. No one is more disappointed than me. But as a result, um, I don't actually know, how I would do on a cruise anymore. Stuff. I didn't even mind. I was literally, it was just, you know what it's like. This is why I say I actually have no shame because how can I be telling you guys? But they were like, oh yeah, it's invitation. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm happy to invite people because I was like, oh, maybe they mean invite people. And they were like, no, it's invitation only. And I was like, okay, so who needs to invite me? Like, I don't understand. And eventually they stopped replying. And it's like a week later, I was like, oh, they haven't invited me. And thus I can't be a thing. Because they'd said, anyway, they'd put up this thing that basically said, you can apply. So I'd basically like applied and hadn't heard anything back. So I was asking, about my application and they were like, oh, it's invitation. I was like, yeah, no. But what about my application? Like, why can't I hear back? I've forgotten their name. They're like really big. They're the ones that I think Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter's doing with them. Emma Carlisle's done one with them, Jenna Rainey. So it was the one that I was basically seeing more of because at the end of the day, it feels, like you want to go with someone that's reputable and knows what they're doing and has insurance and stuff, not in the mood of taking risks and bringing people from all over the world only for it to be a shambles. So I really wanted it to be someone that at least other people have used before. Um, oh my eye. Ooh, that is awesome. Yeah, honestly, I don't have stamina like that. It's actually it's actually a shame. I don't even think I've ridden. The last time I rode, like for a significant point of time, was when um I had a bike. I bought a new bike and I cycled to the top of a hill and I almost passed out at the top of the hill. And it turns out that the brakes were just permanently on this bike. But I just thought that cycling was hard. Like I hadn't realized. Mm, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I never used to. I used to be like grand, and now like even trains and stuff. It's really annoying. Um, I'm just using some white gouache. So I wanted to add green, and I may still add green for the leaves, but then I thought, you know what, let me try and stick to this color scheme for as long as I can. So why not do white leaves with gouache instead that are slowly but surely disappearing on me because this is zinc white and not titanium white. But it's okay. I'll just do 2 layers and then it'll almost look like it's got a really nice ghosting effect to it. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I still really love the idea of an art retreat. I was talking to a friend and they were like, "Wow, you have such big ideas." I was like, I really do. Because at a point I was like, you know what? Everything's looking so expensive. It might just be easier for me to listen to this, buy a villa, and then I'll do it myself. Just go and buy a Tuscan villa. And I was like, oh, I'm sure if they'll give me a mortgage, right? Then it'll be fine. Like I'll pay it off with the art retreats. I haven't done that yet. We'll go for this less risky option first before I start taking out loans, mortgages, so that I can finally have my art retreat. No invitation necessary. Art math for real. Honestly, I was like, oh, I was looking at prices of like Airbnbs, right? Because I was like, okay, well, if I can't do it through these companies, I'll just do it myself. Like sometimes you just got to back yourself, make your own dreams come true, kind of thing. So I was looking at Airbnbs, and it was something like if I wanted an Airbnb that could fit maybe 10 people, it was over £12,000. I was like, what the hell? So then I looked at that and then I was like, oh, to get a chef or someone to come and cook was again a few thousand. Basically, it started racking up real quick. And I was like, well, this doesn't make sense. But if I owned the villa, then at least I wouldn't have to pay the 12 to £15,000 to house these people. Um, I will just we would just be in my villa, right? And it's not even that I wanted a villa, I just wanted somewhere big enough to fit all of us. And I was like, oh, it's fine. I'll just get like, I was then looking at like how to get mortgages in Italy. Honestly, I just thank God that these things like, yeah, these thoughts occur to me in the middle of the night. And more times than not, places are closed. So, I couldn't apply for the mortgage for my Tuscan villa as of yet. But still, I was like, why not? And like now, even as I think about it, I'm like, maybe it is a good idea. But then again, haven't slept, have I? So maybe it's just the art math. which is making it make sense. I was like, yeah, I'll get and honestly, the reason that I stopped looking at the Tuscan villa was because I started feeling overwhelmed as to how I would take care of this gigantic villa that can fit 12 people. I was like, oh, I'm gonna live in the UK. How will I find a gardener? How will I find a cleaner? How will I keep up with this villa? When I'm there, it's fine, but when I'm not there, like, what am I going to do? Um, so as I started trying to figure out how I would find a gardener and everything, I was like, you know what, this is feeling like a lot right now, and that's what put me off. Not the mortgage, not the loan, but the upkeep. And as I say, it doesn't have to be a villa, but if it was smaller, how would we all fit? I definitely dream big. Yeah, an art B&B. See, that would be so fun. Mm, yeah, well, that's the thing. When I started looking, like, because it's also very quickly become apparent to me that it's not looking like I will ever be able to afford a property in the UK. So I was like, okay, well, where else can I buy? And where has good weather and where has good food? And when I was looking at the Tuscan houses, I was like, okay, well, for 300,000, I can probably get an 8 bedroom like house with like land, and like they looked really, really nice. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. The more I'm thinking about, like, the more I'm saying it now, the more it sounds reasonable. However, talk about risk. I mean, then again, I was like, if it's somewhere where in theory I could live, even if, I can't do art retreats for whatever reason, then at least I still have a house. um, because as it stands, I mean, in the UK, it really is as if they don't want anyone like first time buyers who aren't rich to actually own any property. Um, So at least I don't know, I'll have somewhere to go on holiday. I mean, I may not be able to afford a holiday, but indeed, the Caddy Fat House. Oh wow. Yeah, I can't even buy an apartment. Can't buy anything. Like, okay, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit. Like, you could maybe buy a one-bedroom flat for 300,000, but it will look not great. Especially like, so I'm looking near London, and it's not even like, oh, because I mean, I do love London and whatnot, um, but it's not even like, oh my gosh, because I'm trying, like I'm not open to going somewhere cheaper. It's because I work here, right? Like I work in the NHS and I cannot afford to live where I work in the way that they have set it out. So I would be able to afford to buy a house if I moved somewhere far, like up north, away from my family and my job. Um, so yeah, anyway, that is how all that came about. However, in the meantime, we can complete the links down below in the description, and on we may be able to go on a trip before I can afford to buy a Tuscan villa. Like we don't need to wait for that. We can just go in the interim, and that is just something that can happen after. Oh, I mixed the two and I made this really nice reddish color. Um, so I'm going to just use that to add a little bit more contrast. Oh no, my leaf is getting gigantic. Ireland is top 3. You know what? I've never been to Ireland, or haven't been to Ireland yet, should I say? It's primarily been because a lot of the time when I want to go on holidays when the weather is trash here, so then I'm looking at places with nice weather, and namely, the weather resembles here quite a bit, or is a bit more rainy. But I will go. Like, I've been to Scotland once, but I would love to go even more, especially like every time I watch Sarah Burns's videos, I'm like, why have I not been to why have I not been to Scotland since? Like, you know, like she just shows the most beautiful of places. I was even looking at like an Airbnb in the Isle of Skye to go there. And then it was something like £600 for 3 nights. So that dream quickly died. But still, one day. One day I will go there. I then looked at like renting a van. I was like, maybe I should just rent a van and then I'll be able to sleep in the van and travel wherever I want to go. But I am a low maintenance kind of traveler. Like I don't like, you know, I'm not it wouldn't last basically. Oh, is it frozen again? Okay, no, it's just you. Just want to go to Orkney and hear the wild accent. No, I definitely want to travel more in 2024. We shall see. And like you remember, my Venice vlog was me literally just going on like a solo trip and just painting if I want to paint, doing nothing, eating. Like I would love to do that again. I just want to do more travel and traveling and travel trips as a whole. Unintentionally creating some blooms over there. So let me get rid of this. And but yeah, I think that's pretty much it in terms of not the stream, don't worry. But don't know why I'm talking like it's ending, almost ending, I guess. But that's pretty much it in terms of like the updates and the big news. There is a new Ko-fi tier. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined. And if anyone has any questions about it, please ask, because Derwood, for example, had asked a really great question about what the other benefits were, which reasons unknown I had forgotten to like mention, almost as if everyone would automatically read my mind. Mm. Yeah. I haven't watched a video this week. I assume she's hopefully got her visa. She looked really happy, so I'm hoping that's what it is. I've been cutting down on watching YouTube. Just because like I told you guys, my screen time was through the roof. And actually, I just felt like sometimes if I get in this thing of like watching lots of YouTube, then I'm either comparing myself to other YouTubers, or I am consuming lots and not creating anything. Doesn't happen all the time, but I think it's balance, isn't it? And I tend to do things in excess. So when it's looking like actually I'm doing things in excess again, then I take a step back and I cut down on what I'm watching, and I try to try to be creative instead, and to just find other positive outlets and other positive things to do. And that is how I end up, making an art print. Oh, she got it. Oh, I'm so glad. I felt so I wasn't I mean, obviously it's not me, so like it's different, but as in, like, I wasn't worried because I was like, obviously they will give it to her. Like, she has an entire channel dedicated to how much she loves Scotland. Like, why wouldn't they? But then at the same time, I can completely appreciate, just being worried and not knowing, and also feeling like you can't make any big plans because you have no idea, what exactly they're going to say, or when you're going to get your visa. You can't move as freely as you want to. It's just so unnecessarily stressful. You're in the consuming lots and not creating side. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I am definitely, I lean towards that quite a lot sometimes. And as I said, my screen time went up 90%, which I thought was absolutely wild. Uh, but then also, I don't know, it's not only that I'm then consuming, it's honestly, I don't like that I then start comparing myself, like, oh, if someone's posting a lot of videos, I'm like, why can't I post more videos? And also, the thing that hit me the other day was that I keep comparing myself and my channel and my art journey, and like even my Kofi, to artists who work full time. Like, I hadn't even realized that, but I was literally like, "Oh, why are they like they're doing so much and I'm not doing enough, and I need to do more, and I need to make it better, and I need to like make more videos and do this and do that." And then it literally hit me, I think it was today or yesterday, like very recently, that I was like, they work for this is their full-time job, and I'm literally trying to do full-time antics on a part-time, like, as if I don't have like a whole other job. Um but that realization was somewhat helpful. But then at the same time, it's like I still want to deliver the best that I can, right? Like, I don't feel like people should get less of me just because I'm not working full time as an artist. Does that make sense? I don't know. And then I watched another video um that was like, it was really random. It was I think it was a video on like productivity. No, was it? I can't remember. It was a video about taking a break from YouTube, I think. And she was basically talking about how to end your break, and basically don't apologize kind of thing, just come back. Because I do sometimes think like, oh wait, should I take a break? Um More so if I get like unhealthy tendencies. I was telling my sister that I check the YouTube analytics way more than I should, like multiple times a day, which definitely you shouldn't do. By the way, also, I am going to do another live stream. A couple of weeks ago, I asked YouTubers if they'd like me to review their channels, and quite a few said yes and submitted them. So I will be doing that live stream more likely than not tomorrow, just using it as an opportunity to showcase their channels, but also answer any questions that they may have, and just review the channels. Not because my channel is is perfect by any means, but just because I watch a lot of YouTube, and I watched a lot of videos about like making my YouTube as good as I thought I possibly could, and I consume a lot of YouTube. And although there's quite a lot of information or and channels doing reviews, not so much so art channel reviews. And I feel like there are some nuances that perhaps other channels and other, like, we're not a gaming channel, we're not like a tech channel, we're not like a lifestyle channel. It's all completely different, I feel. Um, that's a good question. I'm doing it today. Yes. I am going to do it. Wait, today, Thursday? I will probably do it on Thursday. I'll either do it on Thursday, maybe on Friday. I'll have to see. It's all dependent on when I actually fall asleep and when I wake up. But I've looked through their channels, and when I wake up, I'll put out the what do you call it? Like the actual thumbnail and stuff, so that you'll get a notification. So I'll give more notice than I normally would, because I don't want them to miss it. Because it will be annoying for them, I anticipate, to wait all this time and then have the review but not know that it's actually happening. So I'll give a few hours notice before it actually comes up, so they'll see it. Oh, Transformer Edits, welcome. Let me know whereabouts you are in the world, if you don't mind, because we found out that we're from all over the world. It's currently 5:31 a.m. here, so my time isn't making sense for those in Europe, but it happens to be making sense for those in Asia and in parts of Canada and in parts of the US. Oh, welcome, Blue. Blue, green, and forêt de pin. I don't know what that means. Bluey, green, and forêt de pin. I like that it's rhyming in English and in French. Yeah, I hope it will be interesting. At the very least, I hope it will be helpful for them, like just answering questions. I've also like been looking back on my past videos to see mistakes that I made and things that I kind of wish I knew earlier. I don't know. It's again something that I wish someone had done for me when I started, so I figured I would return the favor, or pay it forward rather. And I hope that they take it well. Because here's the thing, I've had my channel reviewed by one of these big channels last week, which was so nice, but it was so annoying because I was asleep because I'd just done night shifts. So I actually missed them reviewing my channel. And they were very, very kind. They just had like positive things to say, which is really nice on one hand. On the other hand, if no one gives you anything to, like, nothing's perfect, right? And they didn't really give me anything to improve on. Which was like a nice confidence boost, but then also like, so what do I act on? So I have kind of looked at the channels and tried to find something that they can all improve on. I can't review all of them, but basically all the ones that I'll review, I'll give constructive criticism as well. And I feel like sometimes it's hard receiving constructive criticism, but then if you receive no feedback at all, then it's kind of like, how do you then improve? And it's like bittersweet, basically. You want to know that you're doing well, but at the same time, you want to know what to improve on. You don't want to find out that you should have changed X, Y, and Z like 10 years from now. Ooh, 6:30 in the morning. So this is officially a crossover, which I said I wouldn't do. Oh, that's cool. I'm sorry that he had health issues, but I'm assuming that he's better and that's why you're able to start it again. Oh, thank you so much, Transformer. Yes, it will be today. More likely than not today. It's just honestly sleep dependent. It's funny because I did say that I'm quite spontaneous with my videos, and that's putting it lightly. Putting it kindly, and it is just because like I'm just trying to balance a lot and trying to do my best. But what are we thinking? I feel like this is pretty much almost done. Feel like we've got the good range of color. I almost wonder if these oh, he's much better. That's good. midnight. You'll have to let me know how your cards go when you do the like your own color cubes luxury card store. I do think it's a good idea. This is pink. Just adding a few details. And then I'll look up in a second, and then I'll dry this, I think, and then see like how it's looking and if there's anything else that I think needs to be added. I like it. "9:30 in Cal." Hey, Christopher. 10:30. Yes. I think really and truly what I should do is either nap for a very short period of time or not sleep so that I can sleep Thursday night and then wake up Friday morning and not be nocturnal anymore because I'm working long days on the weekend. So I need to flip back so that I can actually wake up for work at 6. Welcome to the live stream, Christopher. It's so nice to see. Well, I don't think you're a new face because I feel like we've chat in the comments before, but we've had Transformer and Blue Vert to join us as well. So it's really nice to see familiar and new faces. I am basically using the color cube to be inspired by the colors to create a piece. And you know what? I'm actually really glad that we've done this because I don't know if you know, initially at a point I was going to bring out the greens and almost like add green to this color palette, but instead I stuck to it as much as I could, and I really like how it's turned out. Where I whoops, put pink in there, where it would have been very much different if I had added the green, and I feel like it would have just kept me in my comfort zone. And it's not that there's anything wrong with being in the comfort zone, it's comfortable for a reason, but the whole point of me pulling out a card was trying something different. And I then wasn't going to, which would defy the point. So let me just add some, I want to add some more details. I want to see, whoops, that's a lot thicker than I intended. If I add white lines to the flowers, to the leaves, sorry, will I like that? Or should I add red details to the white flowers? So I'm not going to add it to all, just a few. Trying to be light with it. And it's zinc white, so I know that it will somewhat fade. But apart from that, let me try. I want to try the orange and seeing what it looks like if I add a few orange details to the white. Thank you. Yeah, it's so funny because I mean, I don't think I have any in this book, but it's a color scheme that I tend to go. Oh, almost picked up green again. It's a color scheme that I tend to go to quite a lot. Like I love mixing peaches with like quin gold and green. So I was quite happy when I picked up this card because I was like, yay, it's my normal color scheme. And then I was like, oh, but where's the green? How am I going to do the leaves without the green? And actually doing the leaves in white and like this peachy color paid off. Oh, you're painting in your fat book as well while watching the stream. What are you painting? Is anyone else painting? Yeah, you guys. Yeah, chat picked a number. I can't remember who. Remember who? Oh, it was Renee. Renee, was it you who picked 77? Oh, that's so nice. Successful first use of a color cube, very much so. And it really is the first. I don't know, like, I bought it, I unboxed it during last week's video, but then I haven't really had. Actually, tell a lie, I have had time to create, but I've been creating like abstract pieces, and I didn't want to add extra elements. And when I was recording the video for Kofi about creating abstract pieces, my whole point was that I didn't want people to feel like you needed to go and buy the color cube in order to create abstract art. And it's not to say that that's automatically what people will feel, but sometimes if I'm watching a video and an artist is using something, I automatically want that same thing. So I really wanted to like strip things back and be like, okay, if we're just using a couple of these things and we're using what we have, this is what we can create. And I loved the results. So I haven't used a color cube, was my point until today, and I'm really liking it because it has made me use. I'm gonna do. I think maybe if I do it as an outline, because it has made me use different colors or use colors in a different way. And I feel like this kind of eased me into it because it wasn't like a color scheme that I had absolutely no clue what to do with. It was a color scheme that I'm somewhat comfortable with, but it's slightly different because of the use of white. Just trying to do those details. I think they're so subtle you can't even see them. I kind of feel like I like them. So let me focus on me for a second, and then I'll move the camera down. So that hopefully, I just focused on me because I didn't want to make you guys dizzy. But hopefully now you can see it a bit better. Thank you, Derek. Oh yeah, you did pick it, Renee. Good. I did think it was you. Doing some figure sketches while watching. Oh, that's good. Christopher, what do you mean by 4 weeks to go? Hi, Hannah Verde. Welcome to the live stream. And yes, I also couldn't sleep. So you're in very good company. It's very late for me, but very early for everybody else. Very good question. Where are you in the world? Oh, Gran Canaria. I kind of want to go. Who's hurt their wrist as well? Or did I tell you that I hurt my wrist without meaning to by accident? Oh, you hurt your wrist. I'm so sorry, Christopher. Get well soon. Adding gouache and polychromos to ink pattern drawing. That sounds lovely. I'm honestly really loving using mixed media. It's been a really enjoyable process. You were painting, but not in a fat book. I don't know how I missed all these comments. If anyone wants to share what they're painting on Discord, I would love to see, or on Instagram, and then I'll share it. Oh, trying to mix a homemade version of Moon Glow. Mm, always good to comment. I was just getting ready to start posting on my other channel. Oh, I'm so sorry you broke your wrist. Get well soon. How did I honestly miss all these comments for the past like Dark Rose. So you're going to keep streaming until you do a painting for all the numbers. Yeah, 500 paintings. Just one continuous stream. I think what's the longest stream that we've done so far? I feel like was it 6 hours? I feel like 6 hours is um the longest that we've done so far. The thing is, my honestly, because we were talking about doing it for longer. Do you remember? Like I can't remember if I said I'd do a 10-hour live stream or 24-hour live stream. My thing is really and truly, my laptop cannot handle it. If it could, I would literally like I've made my little BRB screens, like I'd be down to at least try 6 hours, 6.5 hours. Like I'd be so down to trying all those things. But to for me, the fact that it would then end abruptly when my laptop is like you're taking the absolute mick, like I can't even edit and you're doing a 12-hour live stream, I think just makes it a little bit too risky. Um, no, I know where it is. I think I wanted to go there, but I went to can't remember. I wanted to go there because you guys have beautiful weather all the time. So it's a not too far place from the UK that we can go on holiday to when the weather starts getting cold here. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to do like a streamathon. I guess that's ultimately what they're called. In course, maybe. I think last time the 6 hour one was it for my birthday or was it for Kofi? Um, that's the thing. Also, random thought. I now just have like a pad where I write a whole bunch of different ideas. Oh yeah, I signed off when people were waking up. Was that the 6 hour one? I thought that was the like 4 hour one. um, but random. So I have like a notebook or a paper pad where I just write a whole bunch of different ideas, especially like ideas that I have for Kofi or for YouTube. And one of them was I wanted to do an advent calendar. Obviously, did not have the time to do that. But then the other thing that I was thinking about was a vlogmas, where essentially I would do vlogs every day in December, which is what quite a few different YouTubers in like the fashion and lifestyle niche do. Then I was like, hold up, I don't do vlogs. And really and truly, I don't feel like I'm living my best main character energy. Do you know what I mean? Like you would be watching me vlog like just laying on the couch. So I was like, vlogs may not work. However, what about live streams? But then so yeah, so basically I was then wondering like what about just doing daily live streams from December 1st to December 24th and painting together once a day. But then I was also worried obviously about one, is it sustainable? And two, I don't want to make you feel trapped. Like we'd end up spending so much time together that you may be like, you may get sick of me, you know? But that's that's basically the latest idea I had, because initially I'd written down 24 video ideas, and I was like, I'll make and edit 24 videos. I honestly admire my delusion. But there is no way I can make and edit 24 videos. And I feel like if I were to try, I would I would burn out, like burn all the way out and just take a 1 year break. So I decided against that. Although, now I have 24 video ideas, which is nice to come back to and reflect on and maybe do at some point, spread out over a reasonable course of time. But I don't know. What do you think about my alternative to Vlogmas? Just my thing was like I'd need a theme, but you can tell, right? I'm a free spirit. I don't like to dictate everything too tightly. I don't want to say I will do this thing every time, because then I won't. I mean, what happens if I don't want to do it? Am I going to force myself to do it? Am I just going to disappoint you? Ah, thanks. You checked. Yeah, so art channels do Vlogmas. I didn't know that. That makes more sense. I was like, oh, but even then, unless, yeah, if you're creating art, that does make sense. If not, I was like, you'd literally watch me like on the like go to work. So you'd watch my feet, go to work, get on the bus, get on the train, get to work. You'd then watch my feet come back from work, and then you'd watch me on the couch contemplating, should I paint, should I not paint? Like, how editing wise, I don't feel like, watching wise, I don't feel like it would be very fulfilling for anyone. And I did write, when I was like, okay, I won't do it as complete Vlogmas. It will be Vlogmas with a point. So I was like, I can do a studio tour. I can do like just make it art related. Really and truly, the issue is just like editing. Editing takes me so long on a good day when my laptop was working. Now it's an absolute myth. It's put me off. Like, my last video was 9 days ago, or now maybe 10 days ago. That's quite a long gap for me, but it's truly because I cannot deal with the editing. I can't do it. So it's just really put me off. And it's like, oh, anyway, I'm sorry for complaining. But that is my question. Yeah, so it could be a random pick from Color Cube, could be random, um, what's it called? Could it be like abstract art as well? It could, like, the only promise I would make is that it would be whatever I want it to be that day, so that at least, I'll stay genuine to myself. And the only thing I require is that you bring yourselves, your good energy, and that you also create if you want. But if you don't want to, that's equally completely fine. I'm just doing a few splatters here, there, and everywhere. Have fun with whatever you do. Thank you so much. It's so funny because I did. Don't know if you guys saw my whole shorts. If you saw my newsletter, but in it I was talking about the fact that I don't know, like, I'm not burnt out, but I feel like I feel like the possibility is there because I'm really not enjoying editing on my laptop. And I feel like that in itself then puts me off recording. And I didn't enjoy my recording setup and all this stuff. And I was trying to push through it and it wasn't working. And I'm like, well, if I keep doing that, then I will burn out. So then I started trying to put things in place that would just help prevent that. So that's why I cut down on watching YouTube videos and like consuming more than I was watching, because I'd literally just be watching and be like, wow, they've made like so many great videos and I've only made one video and they've made like 3 videos. And I also stopped. If I don't want to make something, then I won't do it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas before I'd be like, oh, just make it anyway. I've tried recording videos that I just didn't enjoy and I just deleted them. Like, I don't want to do that. I've really just tried to hone in on the things that I enjoy and that excite me. and accepting that they may change. And I also feel like I kept trying to, because I guess like realistically, as someone who watches YouTube, right? I understand why it would be nice to know when someone is going to go live. It would be nice to know what they're going to create. It would be nice to know when the video is coming out. Like I understand the importance of consistency, but I was really struggling with forcing myself to do that. And I think I was like, and I would beat myself up about like, oh, I am not posting at the same time, or I haven't posted, blah, 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 blah. And I feel like that started becoming very detrimental. So I was like, okay, I'm not doing it. I rearranged my room. If I was in a movie, this would be the point where I'd give myself a new haircut, where I'd have like short hair, like, something drastic to be like, new year, new me. I'm doing like a reset. I'm really focusing on the art that I enjoy and the things that I enjoy. And at the moment, the things that I enjoy are painting with you guys, doing live streams, being on Ko-fi, and that is what I'm leaning into. And when I feel like making a video that's different, I will make a video. Like basically, I'm just trying to, I don't want to, I don't want to I don't want to burn out, and I don't want to not enjoy making art anymore. But then I did like the idea of um of Vlogmas. And also, as you can see, this is what like then led to doing the Ko-fi Happy Mail, because I was like, I enjoy making Happy Mail. So I'm going to make more Happy Mail. Mm. No, thank you. I appreciate it. Mm. Oh, I like that, like 12 days of Christmas, focusing on different. For one of the art challenges that we did on Ko-fi was like focused on different art brands. So it could be that I do like, one day one day I'll use my Etcher art supplies, and the next day I'll use like, I could do that, like, because I've already written that out. I do I do like that idea, to be fair. And it would be art supplies that I already have, because the aim of the art challenge was to get me to use the supplies that I already have. But the problem is, like you said, editing, editing, editing. And I enjoy editing when my computer isn't freezing during the process. Like before, it takes me I know Puff Pets, you mentioned that it took you 31 hours. It normally takes me like 20 hours to edit, and that was before the whole issue with my laptop. Now, like, who knows? So I think because editing takes a lot, I'll just see. And also, I don't want to outsource editing at the moment. I feel like the idea of like explaining to someone what I want done and sending it to them and then paying for them to do it is just more than I can handle at the moment. So at some point, yes, but it would be nice if YouTube wasn't making me a loss each month. Like, um, yeah, yeah. I think some people will do it on the actual day, but you'll see. Hold on, I wrote, I wrote it here because, like I said, needed to bring out the hold on big bucks. So I wrote out my ideas. Oh yeah, can you see? This is Vlogmas question mark, and I wrote out my ideas of the different videos that I would make, and then I took things further by trying to, let me make sure I don't write anything inappropriate, because I didn't think I would share this. But yeah, so I then wrote out like the videos that I would have to make last week, which I haven't. Have I made these? No. So I was meant to do an art haul video for this weekend just gone. I just couldn't do it. I was just so exhausted post nights and working nights, and I don't know how I thought I would do it, but I hadn't. Anyway, I then was like, okay, so on Monday, post after my night shift, I will do the Ko-fi live streams, which we did do actually. Really enjoyed it. Prep the Ko-fi challenge, which again I did do. But then on Tuesday, I planned to record 5 videos for the Vlogmas to edit today to then start be ready. Like I left myself one day, which was Thursday, to like sort everything out, and then on Friday I would start Vlogmas. And that, I tell you now, is completely wild because I have recorded 0 of those videos. I was sick on Tuesday, asleep on Wednesday. Like it's all a mess. Mm, yeah, I know. You do you. Oh, you're so kind. Thank you. Honestly, you're so so kind. Um, yeah, that was what had me thinking about the live streams because I was like, well, if I do live streams, it's up and I don't have to edit. I will just have to work on developing some level of discipline where I don't then keep you here for almost 3 hours. So like try and do maybe 1 hour or 45 minutes to 1 hour live streams, never before done on this channel. And keep it like to the point. Maybe we'll see, because then there is no editing. How about, I did think about Twitch, but I think I like YouTube more. Like I like the fact that I get to just chat with you, like people who are already watching my YouTube channel. And I think at a point I was talking to Sarah Burns about it like years ago. Wait, years ago? Was it years ago? Couldn't have been years ago. We didn't know I knew her, but she didn't know me then. Um, but basically, I was talking to Sarah Burns. I'm sure maybe over a year ago, though. It wasn't in this place. Anyway, talking about when I was still thinking about whether I should do Kofi or not do Kofi, how to do Kofi, should I do Kofi or Patreon? She's actually the one who had advised me to do Kofi instead of Patreon. But one of the discussions was on live streaming, and naturally, it can take a lot of time because you end up like they go longer than pre-recorded videos and stuff. And anyway, she'd highlighted some pros and some cons, and in the end I was like, it's better for me to just do live streams on YouTube. But no, I had thought about Twitch. Good night, Renee. And I assume Jude's asleep as well. But wish him good night from us. uh it's a full-time job doing Vlogmas. Yeah, that's the thing. You gave up on editing on your laptop and started editing on your iPad. I'm not surprised. It's wild. Set a timer. Yeah, I think we could do timed times. Live streams are your favorites. Ah, I love live streams. I do. As you can probably tell, it's so funny because when I first started doing live streams, my goal for that year, which I believe was 2021, correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, when I first started doing live streams, my goal was to do 3 live streams that whole year because I really wanted to try it before I gave it up. Like I didn't think that I would enjoy it. Well, I thought I may enjoy it, but I thought that it may be something that it takes me a while to get into. And I also kind of felt like before I quit it, I need to give it a true go. So I need to make 3 live streams in that one year, and then if I want to quit, I can quit at that point. And if I want to continue, I can continue, but at least 3 so that I know I've given it a good go. And I have done so many since. Like, I absolutely love live streams because I feel like I get to actually chat with you more and I get to know you better than I do in the comments because there's a little bit more of a dialogue and back and forth. Sophie. Oh, good night, Terry. Oh, so it's officially crossover. We've now I've live streams for so long that it's too late for people in the US and Canada. Mm, yeah. I also thought people might feel like it's too, I don't know, we'll see. I thought people may feel like it's too much to go from to follow me over there. Like I feel like people are already struggling to follow me on Kofi, talk less of Kofi and Discord and Twitch. But um but I do know that it's set up for streaming a little bit better. Oh, good night, Dark Roast. I missed the good night, but I can see everyone saying good night. You're getting sleep. Okay, I see it. Have a great night all day. I'm gonna see sunrise soon. Wild, no? And let me see. If you are enjoying the video, then please consider hitting the like button, pretty please. Also, am I seeing all the comments? I feel like I should be. If I miss one of your comments, please just let me know. You're already at work. That's wild. I don't normally, yeah, I've never started work this early. The only started work at 7, and that I found hard. I will do one more quick painting and then I will go to sleep. So, I'll probably be here to greet the UK people and to wish goodnight to everybody else. It's 2 in the afternoon in Perth. Oh, you know what? One of my Ko-fi members is in Australia. I wonder if she'll be able to catch it. She always wants to catch the live streams, but obviously usually doesn't because I'm not usually up at this time. But today is a special day. Sorry, I'm just pulling this up again so that you can see the page. And let's pick out another one. You want to pick out a number from 1 to 250, and I will pick out a color. This is 77. I'm going to try and keep them all in order. Uh-oh. Unclear why it did that. What we move? 167. Let me see. Let's see. 169. 167. Is this one? Oh, this is very Christmassy. This is going to be interesting. You know why? Complementary colors. Or, hold on, 56. Let me bring up both and then we can, 56. We can pick out which one we think is best. Okay, both are completely different color palettes to what I would normally use. So, ooh, my badge number from work. The cube is, we can't keep picking different numbers. I'll pick up 93 and then you guys pick your favorite from this. So this is the Color Cube by Sarah Renee Clark. She has essentially designed these cubes that have color palettes as well as reference photos that are royalty-free images. All these palettes are completely different to what I would normally use. So pick a number. Oh, did it do that again? Why is it doing that? Why is my phone glitching? Anyway, sorry about that. So which number would you like? We have 56, 93, and 167. Obviously, if my phone keeps failing me, then may not get to pick. Why is it doing that? Weird. 93, 93, 93, 93. Okay, I'm seeing lots of 93s, which is this one. Interesting color scheme. Color me intrigued. Okay, how are we going to tackle this? I'm wondering what color the background should be. I guess maybe we can make the I feel like maybe I'll make the background yellow. That way it will tie in with this. This is going to be wild. I don't know how these colors are going to work together. And I say it's wild as in because I'm still trying to do flowers, right? So I'm not trying to recreate the reference. I'm trying to create florals using the color schemes. Should have probably said that first, but so starting with yellow again. Oh, yeah, yellow, and then maybe I'll move towards like reddish towards the bottom. Do gradients, which I don't normally do. I'm using this gigantic Raven brush. Quickly get some color down. I'm not gonna lie, I'm intrigued. It will work for flowers as well. Let's see. Adding some more yellow, some more Quin Gold. It'll be adding the blue that will be interesting. So going to just wipe off some here. I try to leave the center somewhat free so that I can do the florals without it blending because we don't have green in this color scheme. Blue flowers, cool. And more, let me add more red. So, I don't have like a proper red, you know, so I have to make orangey red. So it doesn't look like I'm cheating and we can see that I did actually try to stick to the color scheme. And then I'm going to dry this because I don't want the blue to mix into this. I have moss green, the first color. Oh, could I mix them? I guess I could mix them, but I don't want... I could mix them, but then I thought that we were trying to stick to the color scheme so that so it would represent it. What do you think? Mix or don't mix? I wasn't like, I thought I could mix it a little bit to, you know, like make the orangey red or make the like, but I wouldn't think to mix the bright blue with the yellow to make the green. Does that make sense? Like I'm still trying to stick to the rough color palette. I'll mute this for a second. It's nice and dry. Oh, I'm getting cold. Let me turn on my heater. Am I? Yeah. Okay. So it's grey, which I saw that you saw, Miss Abney. So what I was saying is that I don't know, we'll see. But my thought to make it even more challenging was to try and actually create a piece that has these colors rather than mixing them to create other colors. So if I were to, like, say example, mix these two and make this like a little bit more of an orangey red, fine. But if I were to mix these two and make like a green, then the whole color palette is completely different. Oh, don't want to get this messy. Yeah, pigments would be helpful. Keep giving me these ideas. Who knows? Maybe I will actually go back and finally make my color cubes. I thought it'd be color cubes full of floral references. Okay, we're going for blue flowers. I'm really curious because I don't know if this color scheme makes sense, you know? Oh, is it still wet? No. So let's do blue roses. And I'm using sky blue as it happens, which is phthalo blue with white. And I'm trying to do it in this area that I left white because I don't want it to start looking like glazing and looking green, which is exactly what's happening here. So I'm doing some bits slightly thicker. Sound like it doesn't have to make sense. That's a very good point. So that's the blue there. Then I have cobalt teal. Whoa, which is green. That's accidental. Let me just lift that up and take that off. And add some more of this sky blue. Thank you. The blue is gorgeous. Yeah, it's Roman Schmall's sky blue. It's the one that comes with the urban sketching kit. And it's so funny because initially when I saw it in the palette, I was like, "Ugh, it's a blue with the white, it's gonna be chalky. Damn it, Roman Schmall's going to finally disappoint me." And then I actually really love the color. And it's not chalky at all. So then we also have the yellow, don't we? So let me add the coin gold. You may add a flower here. What mop brush did I use? I used the Jackson's Raven size 2 mop brush. I think it was like their mop brushes are quite reasonably priced, and they're full of water, nice and juicy, so fun to use. A dip color in the middle and do a yellow here as well. The gray is going to be interesting. Do I even have a gray? Like, I have a Payne's gray, but not like that kind of gray. A slate gray. Do I feel like the name rings a bell, but I definitely don't think it doesn't ring a bell in terms of the color. Yeah, that's the thing. It was perfectly named. I was honestly so like, oh, why did they do it? No, they've created a color I'm going to hate. And I was like, oh my gosh, not only do I love the color, but it is actually a sky blue. Which made it very helpful because it was in the urban sketching palette. So, and also in the urban sketching palette has like, so this is the urban, like my palette that I was showing you that I'm using now is the urban sketching palette plus a few extra colors that I've added. And another color that they had that didn't quite make sense to me at the time was magenta. I was like, what am I doing with magenta in a urban sketching palette? And yet I use it all the time. Like it's almost, can you see? Like it's almost disappeared. It's just a nice versatile palette. I've bought another one because all the colors that came with the set are pretty much running out, and I've like topped up by digging out full pans. Someone asked me, I don't know if they're in this live stream, on the off chance that they are, I'll answer, but I will go back and answer the question. They asked me what I do with the other half of when I take out a full pan and I cut it in half and put it inside the half pan, which is what I do with the Romish small colors. What do I do with the other half? And honestly, I just leave it. Um, I just have like a full pan that only has half a pan's worth of paint in them. So I don't then remove both sides, if that makes sense, because it's still helpful to have a full pan. It still means I can get big brushes in there. Mm. Oh, silver accents and the blue flowers as the grey. That's a good shout. I also have, now that I'm thinking about it, I have this. What is this? No, this is Payne's Grey 30%. Okay, close but no cigar. Magenta is in everything mixer. I agree. And before having it, I was just like, ugh, why did they put this color? Or not even ugh, because I liked it for flowers, right? It's like really nice and bright. But I was like, what am I supposed to do with this color for um urban sketching? But you're right, it's really great for mixing. So I am looking around for a red. I don't really have a proper red. What I do have, it's annoying because I do have this. Oh, damn! Is it going everywhere? It is. Okay. Well, I do have this schminke color. I don't want to get it all out, so I'm just going to take some of it out. Which is Perlin Violet. Let me see if I can mix it to make a nice dark maroony red. Doesn't that just look luscious? It's a lot darker than intended, but and take some magenta. And maybe add some Quin Gold. I don't want to make it grey. I'm trying to make it lean more red. It's looking like a wine red. Let me show you. Is that too winey? I feel like it's okay. It's not matched perfectly, but it's nice. And we can see I tried to make this dark and deep red. Oh, thank you, Nicole. This is so awesome. Honestly, I love the fact that I get to see you while I'm here, and I'm so grateful that you're joining. I can't see, I can't actually, let me correct myself. I can't see if people are joining. I can't see if they are tipping. I don't really know, but either way, I am very grateful. I'll know once like the stream ends. And did I send you guys this? I don't think I did. Hold on. Um, super late, but before we were talking about the swatch cards, or I think I did send it. This is the swatch cards basically. And in a nutshell, thank you, Nicole. So this color that we are looking at is Pearline Violet with a hint of magenta and another hint of Quin Gold. I think it's really nice. I agree with you. So just because I know that we've pretty much crossed over, so there's a whole bunch of new people in the stream that are in different time zones. The big announcement is that I am releasing a new Ko-fi tier, and this tier is going to be with Happy Mail. So there's still the physical rewards. There will be live streams, there will be Zoom calls, there'll be exclusive videos. But on top of that, I'm also going to be sending out monthly Happy Mail that will consist of primarily watercolor dot cards of colors that I am enjoying, colors that link in with the art challenges that I'm doing. And if anyone joins today, as in my today, because I know we're in different time zones. So if anyone joins within the next few hours, then they'll also get access to not only the main dot card, which will be focused on greens this month, but they'll also get a Holbein dot card that I will make myself. And I started playing around with some other things that the Happy Mail will consist of. So it will always be dot cards, unless, like, for example, people vote to have it be something else. But it will be dot cards, plus or minus a few extra bonuses every so often on some months. And it's linked in the description if you want to join. And as I say, I've really been trying to focus on doing things in my art that I enjoy and that benefit. And the idea of creating some mail that will make people happy and encourage them in their art practice is one of said things. Oh, good. I'm glad. You don't think? Honestly, I don't know how slick gray is going to work. Maybe I'll add like white. I don't know, or silver. I think silver was a good idea. I just don't know. I don't think I have any silver. Derwood, welcome. Derwood, I've mentioned your name so many times in this live stream. If you were to like go back and watch it, you'd be like, your ears must have been burning. Let me take some more of that Pearline. Yeah, I don't know why this don't know why it has gray in it. But alas, it's what you guys picked. Where did they put the gray in the sample photo? That's a good question. It's the sand. I mean, that looks even more depressing. It's the sand in the reference. That was my idea. See, initially when I saw it on when I saw that Otokano did it like a few years ago, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. I'll get like to try out colors and then kind of take it from there. But also beyond that, because I'm complementing it with Ko-fi, it will, I don't know, there's like a community sense behind it as well. So we've used up, like we've got the orange, we've got the thing. The gray is the only color that I have not added. Yeah, Ko-fi is literally, it's like Ko-fi, it's like Patreon. It's just a different company doing it, and they charge less to creators, basically. Um, I don't know. I was saying that when I first started, I was talking to Sarah Burns about it and weighing up the pros and the cons. And in the end, she was, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll get Kofi. The only downside that I feel like with Kofi, the only downside that I feel about with Kofi is just that some people don't know what it is. So I just have to explain what it is. But other than that, it makes more sense. Replace the I don't have silver. I don't know why that keeps happening. I'm sorry. That random like disappearing and coming back act that we seem to be having. I almost feel like okay. I mean, in theory, do I have anything silver? I don't think I have silver. I have Payne's Grey, which doesn't really serve us. I have white. Could mix white with Payne's Grey, but then ugh, this I have pencils, but I don't. Oh wait, hold on. This is the only silver thing I have that comes to mind, and this is the Stabilo Woody in silver. This is what I'm gonna do. So I'm just going to do. No, this isn't. Is this working for me? I don't think it's working for me. Yeah, so the reason that I wanted to join it at that time was that I would get access to more supplies and be able to test things out before committing to them. I also like the idea of the fact that it can be linked to the art challenges some months, or it can be colors that I've mixed myself some months. Like the options are truly endless. This is not what we want it to be. Or maybe it's not as bad, to be fair. I was just checking to see if Etcher had silver, but they don't. It's gold. mm, I like my shiny. Copper would be great. Does the Etcher set have a white gold? Oh, is it glitching for everyone? These are the colors. It has a white gold, but it's not that white. I think I'll just trust the process and just keep going with the woody and see. It's just because the thing is also, if I reactivate this woody, it's going to, I don't think it's shiny, and it's just going to blend. Yeah, like it's just disappearing. Let me dry these layers and then we'll sort out the silver dilemma. But as I do so, please let me know if it's glitching for you. I'm going to mute you. Good shout. You were right. You're right, Shamak. There is a silver in the Ganzai Tambi, which I had completely forgotten about because I don't usually use silver. Okay, let's do this. What are the benefits of a heat gun compared to a regular hairdryer? If I had a hairdryer, I would probably just use it. Why not? But I think it's more so that it's not blowing as much wind, as much air out. Do you know what I mean? As a hairdryer would. So it's more heat than wind. So less things fly around. But I'm a big fan of just use what you have to hand and what's easier for you. And this is the Gansai Tambi. Let me try and... Oh, it's not opaque enough. Hold on. Maybe I'm not being patient enough. Let me add some water. Oh yeah, that's also why I got it. I got it for embossing. Back in the day, you know, when I first got my other printer and I had all these dreams about making my own art supplies and art prints and everything, I used to emboss. Okay, it's working. Just trying to fix this mess that I created with the woody over there. And also have enough of an imprint that we can say that I definitely used, that I stuck to this prompt, even though it didn't necessarily make that much sense to me at the time. Good though. It's good to be pushed outside our comfort zone from time to time. I was so tempted by Sarah has, so this is Sarah Burns that I assume we're talking about. She has a great Patreon as well, and she's just released a sub box with craft demo, and I was genuinely contemplating it. The only reason I didn't get it is like in the end, like the cost. I think like the shipping cost and the fact that it was extra every month or something like that. And also I just spent a whole bunch on different things. But irrespective of that, her Patreon is amazing. You just joined Sarah's. You will really love it. Not as much as mine, because mine is the best. I'm semi-joking, but you will enjoy it. Sarah's great. The silver is working. As in, like, it's laying down. I don't know if the whole color scheme as a whole makes sense, but I feel like it's not bad. I need to get a thinner brush. No lies told. Yeah, we have a Discord as well. You should definitely join it, Nicole. Obviously, like, I think the beauty about Patreon or Ko-fi or anything that you join is that you get to use it as much as you want. So there are some people that join it and will just privately do the videos, and there are some people that will join it and like chat in Discord all the time. But I do really think that it's a lot of fun to be on the Discord because you just get to chat with other artists all the time, or as often as you log in, I guess. I think it just makes it a lot of fun. So I'm adding white here. I didn't want to add the Cerulean Violet, but I feel like I may end up doing it just to keep things balanced. I don't know what I was planning on doing there initially. But I may just add a few extra details. I mean, this is working wonderfully. It's a good thing Sharmak knows my art supplies better than I do. Looks autumnal. With a hint of frost. Essentially our current weather. Yeah, definitely. And it's so funny because when people join, when everyone joins, I like give a small a very short questionnaire just to one make sure that everything is working for them, but also to assess like what people would like. Um and take any suggestions and whatnot. And I do think that the art community is one of the best perks, especially like I've said, you guys are my art friends. Like, I don't have anyone else who does art, and there is just something so nice about being able to sit down and chat about art or go on my phone and have like conversations about art or art supplies or different courses or anything that we're doing really. Just adding a little bit more detail. I wonder if, yeah, I mean, it's still, I literally just laid it down. I'm like, I wonder if it's still wet. Mm, mm. How many Patreons do people follow? That's a good question. I, for me, it varies on life. Well, it varies more so on like how much time I think I actually have to like dedicate and time and expenses and whatnot. But I am usually a member of max 4. So I'll try to like be a member of like 3 usually, like 2 to 3. Trying to count how many. Yeah, roughly 2 to 3. And if it's 4, then I don't tend to do like yeah, like I don't know, I can't explain it, but normally it depends on like so. Say for example, if I really am feeling gouache, then I will go back and join Sarah Burns's one, or if I want to do more sketchbook work, I would join Emma Carlisle's one, or I was part of Katie's one as well because I was trying to like layer TJ Marston Sketch It Studio. She has a really good one as well. So yeah, a whole a whole bunch. But the one that I did the longest was Sarah Burns. Like I was part of her Patreon for over a year. You want to add orange to it. You mean orange to this one? Oh yeah, sometimes I forget that Patreon really is for like everyone. Like, it's not just art stuff. You want to be able to forget. 6 Patreons and 1 Ko-fi. Oh my gosh, that is so awkward. That's so awkward, Barbara. Oh, I did do Jess's one, I think for like 1 month. I can't remember. I think I wanted to join her one for the live meetups or something, but then I was never available. So a bit of tangerine. I can add some orange to this. Let me put this away because I feel like I've added as much silver as I'm going to add. I have tried. Follow Miranda, April. I don't know April. You want to add orange, like big tangerines. Oh, let me dry this and then I'll come back. I'm back. Let me catch up. See, I didn't know Sandy had, or did I? I don't feel like I knew Sandy has. I mean, it makes sense that she has a Patreon, but I haven't joined it. I really do enjoy her YouTube videos though, so it might be one that I check out next. TJ's one I think is really good, especially if you like using mixed media. She started it newly this year, but like really hit the ground running. Just look for, actually I was going to look for an orange, but perhaps to keep this more cohesive I should just mix it with the colors that we've been using anyway. That's sweet. Chamberlain paintings. It's so good to get all these names down. I do follow loads of people on YouTube now. No, that's the thing. It's I'm just looking for somewhere to mix. It can be challenging if you don't have time to actually do the stuff to stay as part of it. Let me mix some magenta in it. I was looking for the bismuth orange, you know what I mean? But instead, I have just mixed this super bright orange, and I'm just going to do a few spots here, there, and everywhere. What are we thinking? Hmm. Oh, you have a children's book. Oh, good night, Shah. Nice use of the grey. I tried. I really tried. Thank you for everyone who suggested the silver, and to Sharmak who pointed out that I have a silver in the Kuretake Ganzai set because I had completely forgotten. And let me just add just glaze a little bit. Just adding a bit more color to here and here. And I almost feel like just add the teeniest bits of blue elsewhere so that the only blue isn't right in the middle. And just oh, thank you, Barbara. It's so kind of you. A sweet treat. I may treat myself, may go to like a coffee shop. I've really been enjoying doing that recently. Um, I'll have a hot chocolate on you. And no, thank you. And let me. Okay, how are we feeling about this? I feel like I'm done with it. I don't know. I feel like it's worked. It's worked better than I thought it was going to. Just to show, this is the colors that we had to work with. And admittedly, the maroon violet is a little bit darker, but other than that, I feel like we stuck to it pretty good. And it certainly worked better than I thought it was going to. But a candy cane. To be fair, I love hot chocolate with marshmallows, just as if it's not sweet enough. So I mean, what time is it? Oh, for a second I thought it was 10 p.m. I thought it was 9:56, not 6:56. I was like, oh my gosh. Time really flew. Oh, thank you so much. Both are gorgeous. So this has been quite fun. So it may be, we'll see. I will sleep on it, reflect on it, and see. But it may be that I'll do more frequent live streams as we go through December, just as a nice way to encourage all of us to take a couple of minutes to relax each day. as we get back from work and our busy lives, and either paint or just chat with other artists as well. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sophie. And the messy desk and Nicole. It's one. Oh, I feel so bad. It's so late. You're going to take the dog out at 2 a.m. Oh my goodness. Everyone's proper night owls. Let me take this off. Is it this one? Okay. Let's do a tape peel, shall we? And then I will let you all go to sleep. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined my Ko-fi and who is part of it already. Thank you so much, Barbara, for the extra tip and the hot chocolate. Oh, you watched the sunrise. I'm going to open the curtain so that I can see it soon. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this live stream. Again, just as a reminder, if you join my Ko-fi today, as part of the, if you join the Happy Mail tier on my Ko-fi today, then you'll get an extra dot card of Holbein watercolors, in addition to my favorite greens. Let me take this off. And I've left it all linked down below in the description. If you would like to support the future of an art trip, then share your opinion on where you would like to go and your budget. And hopefully we can work on doing that in autumn, and if not autumn, in 2025. You have to log into Ko-fi, but you're not good at it. I'm so glad that you stumbled upon it too, the messy desk. Do I ever try to reuse the masking tape? I do try. It doesn't always work, but I do try. Sometimes what I will do, which perhaps this tape isn't the best example of, but is if I stick down half of, so that it's half of the tape, and for example you can see that all the paint is on this half, then I will try, when I'm sticking down, to have the bottom half that doesn't have paint be the one that's on the edge the next time. But I do it knowing and accepting the fact that it may seep underneath. But still, with these ones, because I don't feel like I went over the edges that much, I have kept them on the side, like I haven't thrown them away, and I will try using them in a second. So I'm going to dry this and catch up on your comments, but then I will let you go in a few minutes to enjoy the rest of your day or to sleep. Yes, Miss Ebony, I saw your rolls of magic tape and I was very, very jealous. Hey, back again. So let me quickly show you what I showed you before. So I gave a little bit of a sneak peek that these are the Dana Riley inks that I have got, and I did a live stream on Ko-fi basically sharing my like art haul, and that's why we swatched these out. And then, and Derwood, by the way, you're more than welcome. And then I also used the woodies, although I didn't show you that here. what leaked over it. But yeah, I used the woodies. This is the, I don't know if you can see this coming through. This is because of the Chatty paper being thin. So this is what I mean about it being good to use, but not somewhere that I would have my absolute perfect pieces, because it's not like perfect paper. If you like the feel of the paper, but you want something thicker, that's a little bit more reliable, then I recommend this one. And this has 230 GSM paper, I believe. Yeah, I think it's 230 GSM. And this one is thicker, so you can really more comfortably paint on both sides without damaging the artwork. And like you can see with this one, I added lots of paint on here, and then it was fine on here. And this is what it looks like with the cover. So if you want Chatty paper with thicker paper, you can either buy that book, or they also come in, they also come in sheets like this. So this, for example, has 320 GSM, so nice and thick paper, but these are loose sheets. They are not books. It's 100% cotton. They are handmade, but it's cotton rag. So it's not like, you know, Saunders or Arches or Fabriano. Like it's the paper itself feels softer, almost like cloth. And because it's handmade, it has like imperfections on the paper, on some of the pages. So like little lumps here or like dots there. So it also tends to be less expensive as a result. So it's nice paper to mess around with. And this sketchbook, which has 100 pages, is £13.50. So given how much you can do on it, it's a lot of fun. And if you buy it from Jackson's and you use my discount code, then you'll get a 10% discount, even if you've bought from Jackson's before, as long as you haven't used that code before. So for the art haul, I got these De La Rowney inks, and we looked at the beginning of the stream, and it turns out that FW inks tend to use more natural pigments, whereas the acrylic 3 inks tend to be more opaque. But both of them are made by De La Rowney, and I've bought 15 of the colors, which are here. But the woodies as well to play around with. And then I bought a jelly plate. So I was messing around with a jelly plate, and like this I didn't use to create the jelly plate prints. I put the excess from the brayer onto the page because I didn't want to waste the paint, if that makes sense. And one of the backgrounds that I had looked like this one, and on there I used it to create this piece and this piece, and it was just a lot of fun. Like I'm really trying to explore and experiment with abstract art on Ko-fi this coming month, so I was exploring and trying it out beforehand. So I created this, absolutely loved it, and then I made this cute art print, which I'm just so proud of, because honestly I tried to do it for years and spent hundreds on paper, on inks, on replacing the printer, and it didn't work. And it has finally worked when I was just randomly wondering if it would, and I'm just over the moon. So I was playing around with it because as part of the Happy Mail, I want to know if I could at some point include art prints as like a bonus. So the answer is potentially. So as well as the inks, I used the inks to create this, which is again a part of a Ko-fi live stream. But as well as the inks, I bought these, which are the Jackson's acrylic paints, and they are 200 GSM for, I think they're £6.90 now, but I bought them on sale, so they were around £4. And I was just sharing how I was quite uninspired by the colors that were that I had bought when I actually swatched them out. So I used it as an opportunity to mix my own colors in these bottles. And this is a Ko-fi video that is coming up, basically how I made my mixes and the mixes that I made, which are here. And then I created abstract pieces using all these new colors that I had made and talking through my process and doing that. So that's basically what is going on Ko-fi. And then we used the color cubes to make these pieces, which I really love actually. this one is my favorite, hands down, but I am pleasantly surprised by how this turned out because I had next to no faith in the fact that it would actually turn out nicely when I was starting it. I'm just going to write the name of what this is. So I normally have this a Sharpie permanent marker that has like a very thin nib, and it's so helpful for writing down Perylene, for labeling my pans by Schminke. Yeah, ultra fine point, very helpful. Just in case you're looking for the same thing, because I've tried sticking papers down and whatnot, but this is probably the best option. It's not like completely permanent, it can fade off. So sometimes what you can do if you want is write it on the bottom so it's less likely to be worn down by water. I hope your wrist gets better soon, Christopher. And it's cotton, but cotton rag. So it's not quite the same as the other cottons. Oh, delicious colors. Thank you. Veloci Chungus Rex. Thank you. And thanks for joining. I don't feel like I've seen your name before. So welcome to the live stream. I can't believe it is almost 4 hours. I cannot believe that it is past 7 a.m. But honestly, I'm so grateful that you have been here, and I hope that you have enjoyed this live stream. I hope that you consider joining my Ko-fi, especially if you want to see more content, and also if you want to get more art supplies. There are 2 tiers on there. So the new one is the Happy Mail tier, which I've described, but there is also the digital rewards tier or the original MVP tier. So both are linked down below. I think it's worth checking out to see if it's something that you will enjoy, especially if you've enjoyed this live stream. Please consider hitting the like button, and I will let you go. I hope you have a wonderful day, or that you sleep well wherever you are in the world. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time, maybe tomorrow if I actually decide to do Vlogmas. We shall see. See you. All the best. Bye.